Chapter 146. Master, what's the cultivation level of the person inside? I only felt an oppressive aura, Yang Lei asked. Much higher than yours. This guy knew that he had to come out. Plus, Zhang Xinghe couldn't gain the upper hand, so he didn't come out. This also means that the Golden Flame sect doesn't have the confidence to shed all pretense of cordiality. Yu Yangyu looked back at the Golden Flame Pavilion and said, Master, what should we do next? Yang Lei asked. The Golden Flame Pavilion's cultivation level is very high. The cultivation of the guy in the Golden Fire Pavilion is not simple. He should be an elder of the Golden Fire sect. Since he sent an elder here, it seems that the Golden Fire sect has set their eyes on this place. Then, we will fight back. Before I came here, I met the Great Elder and he gave me full authority to deal with this matter. The other peaks will cooperate fully. I plan to set up a few law enforcement teams and arrange a few strong captains. As long as there are people causing trouble in the Medicine Valley, they will be dealt with. After Yu Yangyu and the others left the Golden Flame Pavilion, an old man in a brocade robe came to the hall of the Golden Flame Pavilion. Elder Qi, this Yu Yangyu is too arrogant, Zhang Xinghe said. He does have the right to be arrogant. I didn't expect his disciple to have reached the 5th rank. The old man in the brocade robe sighed as he looked at the street outside with his hands behind his back. Elder Qi, what should we do now? What should we do to capture Knight Soro's disciple outside? Zhang Xinghe's expression was not good because he was not even as good as Yu Yangyu's disciple. Yu Yangyu's behavior is unreasonable. Don't provoke them for the time being. Tell the disciples to be more restrained and communicate with the rogue cultivators in the Danding City area. The sect will also communicate with the forces in the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley must be attacked. The main thing is to see if the other information is true. The old man in the brocade robe made arrangements. Yu Yangyu could make decisions on behalf of the Medicine Valley, but the old man in the brocade robe couldn't. This was also related to the different directions of the sect's development. Medicine Valley did not seek hegemony, nor did they seek to expand their sphere of influence. However, in their own land, they would not give in to anyone who crossed the line. This was their tradition. No matter which peak master it was, he could make the decision. Even if blood flowed like rivers, the disciples of the Medicine Valley would fight to the end. However, the Golden Flame sect was different. The Golden Flame sect's development strategy was huge. They had to consider the threat of the other 6 superpowers and expand their influence. Therefore, they couldn't just attack anyone they wanted. The main reason was that the Medicine Valley was very strong. It was one of the strongest among the Golden Flame sect's subordinate forces. The Medicine Valley had been rooted in the Eastern Profound Domain for countless years and was deeply rooted in the Eastern Profound Domain. It wasn't easy to destroy it. After leaving the Golden Flame Pavilion, Yu Yangyu made arrangements. Yang Lei and Aoi stayed in the Dragon Spring Courtyard, while the others went back to the Medicine Valley to make arrangements for the law enforcement team. One day later, 3 law enforcement teams from the Medicine Valley were stationed in Danding City. One team was led by Gong Xian, while the other 2 were led by Chu Lingxiao and Yi Shuai from the Wuwei Peak. This was the first action taken by the Medicine Valley. In addition, the elders of the sect led people to patrol the area under the influence of the Medicine Valley to warn the small forces that were ready to make trouble. V Forever 2 watch videos for free/equals talk 6. The person in charge of this operation was appointed by the first elder and the Valley Master. The person in charge was Yu Yangyu. The Medicine Valley attached great importance to this matter. The other peak masters also arrived in Danding City to deal with the upcoming situation. It had been a long time since the Medicine Valley made such a big move. The main reason was that too many disciples of the Golden Flame sect had come to Danding City. They could even form groups to capture Knight Soro. How could the situation not be serious? It really corresponded to the saying, "The wind blows before the mountain storm." After returning to the Dragon Spring Courtyard to cultivate for a night, Knight Soro went to the Tianji Tower to hand in his mission. There was a time limit for the mission he completed, so he had to hand it in as soon as possible. Seeing Knight Soro, law enforcement Dong smiled. He knew the current situation in Danding City and the cause. However, he did not expect that Night Sorrow would cut off one of Zhamping's hands. He had sent a letter to the headquarters of the Tianji Tower in the Eastern Profound Domain. This was not because Night Sorrow had reached such a high level. The situation in the Medicine Valley was delicate, so the Tianji Tower had to know about it. They also reported Night Sorrow's matter. Purple attention was not a small matter, not to mention that Night Sorrow was the first on the Yuan ranking in the Medicine Valley. Law Enforcement Dong, I'm here to hand in my mission, Night Sorrow said. I'm relieved to see you. It's good that the Golden Flame sect did not catch you. However, your master is indeed domineering. Law Enforcement Dong said with a smile. He also knew that Yu Yangyu had gone to the Golden Flame sect. Now that the disciples of the Golden Flame sect did not come out, it meant that the Golden Flame sect did not have the confidence to deal with this matter. They went too far. That guy followed me out of the city and wanted to kill me. Then I had no reason to be polite, Night Sorrow said. True, but you have to be careful when you go out in the future. Don't get ambushed, Law Enforcement Dong reminded Night Sorrow after exchanging the mission reward. After leaving the Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow's body trembled. He took 2 steps back and looked around. Then, he found the source of the problem. It was the driver of a beast carriage. It was an old man. Although he was smiling, Night Sorrow felt a murderous aura and danger. This was his intuition. Night Sorrow got up and returned to the Tianji Tower. Hey, why are you back? Law Enforcement Dong asked in surprise. Law Enforcement Dong was right. I'm being targeted. This person is really planning to ambush me. I can't fight against that person. If he attacks, I won't even have a chance to escape. Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. Danding City forbade violence. However, if the attacker was extremely powerful and left quickly after the attack, this rule would not be a deterrent. What's his cultivation? Law Enforcement Dong asked. I don't know. I just instinctively feel that it's dangerous. Night Sorrow shook his head. Law Enforcement Dong brought Night Sorrow to a room on the 4th floor of the Tianji Tower. Law Enforcement Dong gently opened the window. Is it the old man in green? Yes, that's him. What's his cultivation? Night Sorrow asked. Rank 4, Rank 3. If you don't look carefully, you won't be able to tell. His camouflage ability is very strong. A carriage driver with 3 levels of spirit severing. It seems like he's really targeting you. You can rest here and wait for him to leave. Or, you can ask the disciples of the Medicine Valley who are doing the mission to send someone to pick you up. Law Enforcement Dong closed the window and said to Night Sorrow. He was really impressed by Night Sorrow. He looked around and saw the old man. Night Sorrow realized that this was his instinct when he came out of the Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow's intuition for danger was too terrifying. Night Sorrow nodded. This was the only way. He didn't have any other choice. If a rank 4 cultivator attacked him, he would die. He wouldn't be able to resist at all. When they reached the hall on the 1st floor, Night Sorrow made tea. Law Enforcement Dong didn't accompany him. After all, it wasn't appropriate. The people outside the Tianji Tower could see Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow could also see outside. He was waiting for the disciples of the Medicine Valley. If there was a suitable one, he would spread the news. Chapter 147. Senior Brother Chu. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted Chu Ling Xiao. Chu Ling Xiao, who was passing by, stopped and walked over with his men. Junior Brother Knight, are you here for a mission? This is an emergency. Be careful. I'm not safe now. Hurry up and catch him. Night Sorrow pointed at the green-robed old man and shouted. Seeing Chu Ling Xiao talking to Night Sorrow, the green-robed old man knew that he couldn't do anything and planned to leave. But Night Sorrow wouldn't let him go so easily. He shouted at Chu Ling Xiao. Chu Ling Xiao followed Night Sorrow's finger and saw the green-robed old man. His expression changed and he moved to stop the beast carriage. As soon as Chu Ling Xiao moved, the people he led surrounded the carriage. I didn't notice. You almost slipped away. A long sword appeared in Chu Ling Xiao's hand. What do you mean? I'm driving a beast carriage to earn some pocket money. Is that in anyone's way? The old man said. Third grade divine clone? Driving a beast carriage to earn some pocket money? Who are you trying to fool? Third grade divine clone ambushing a fourth grade gathering element cultivator? You're shameless. I'm not going to waste my time with you. Chu Ling Xiao attacked as soon as he finished speaking. After Chu Ling Xiao attacked, the green-robed old man began to fight back. But the gap between them was too big. After a few rounds, the old man's ribs were pierced by Chu Ling Xiao's sword qi and he lost his ability to fight. I'm a disciple of the Golden Flame sect. You dare to attack me? The old man who lost his ability to fight finally revealed his identity. If it was something else, the Medicine Valley might tolerate it. Ambushing an elite disciple of the Medicine Valley? Then I'm sorry. Chu Ling Xiao waved the long sword in his right hand and beheaded the green-robed old man. At this moment, Chu Ling Xiao had nothing to do with being gentle and refined. He had a reason to kill the old man because the Golden Flame sect's disciples had appeared. The leader was Zhang Qinghe. If he didn't kill them, the situation would change. After killing the green-robed elder, Chu Ling Xiao sheathed his sword and asked Zhang Qinghe, Enforcer Zhang, this person attacked my Medicine Valley's elite disciple and even said that he was from your Golden Flame sect. Is he one of your people? Zhang Qinghe was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He only asked after killing him. Wasn't this intentional? Originally, Zhang Qinghe had planned to use pressure and negotiation to exchange for the old man. He was one of the elite members who had followed Elder Qi here. What's wrong? Are they really from the Golden Flame sect? Then what do you mean? Are you going to attack the disciples of the Medicine Valley? Chu Ling Xiao's expression changed as he sternly questioned. At the same time, the law enforcement team he led also drew their weapons and prepared to fight. I don't know either. I'll take the body back and ask if it's a member of the Golden Flame sect. At this time, Zhang Qinghe could not use force. If he used force, he would have to fight. The Medicine Valley was ready for a fight, but the Golden Flame sect had not given any further instructions. Okay, we want to know who this guy is. If you have any results, please let us know, Chu Ling Xiao said as he put away his long sword. Zhang Qinghe snorted coldly and called for people to take the body of the old man in the green robe away. Everyone had a tacit understanding, but they didn't open their mouths. Once the topic was opened, it would be a real full-scale war. This battle ended once again with the Medicine Valley gaining the upper hand. The attitude of the Medicine Valley was clear. If you dare to cause trouble, I dare to kill you. Thank you, Senior Brother Chu. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get out of this door. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Chu Ling Xiao. We're all brothers. You're welcome. You did well today. Don't be impulsive. They're all elites now. You really can't be reckless. Chu Ling Xiao was a little scared. Night Sorrow was smart. He didn't come out of the Tianji Tower and didn't give that guy a chance. Otherwise, Night Sorrow would have died. Not to mention the Yuan Gathering Realm, even the Core Condensation Realm couldn't escape from a spirit-severing realm cultivator. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Where are you going? I'll ask someone to send you there, Chu Ling Xiao looked at Night Sorrow and said. Our update asterisk, the soonest you up 8, thank you, Senior Brother Chu. I can go by myself. If there's danger, I'll avoid it, Night Sorrow said. No, it's not your problem now. You fought with that arrogant disciple of the Golden Flame sect and cut off his hand. You're showing the prestige of the Medicine Valley. If something happens to you, the Medicine Valley will lose face, Chu Ling Xiao refuted Night Sorrow. He was mainly worried about Night Sorrow's safety. I see. Then send me to the city gate. I'll go to the Dragon Spring courtyard, Night Sorrow said in a low voice. He couldn't let the Golden Flame sect find out. Fifth brother, seventh brother, you two send junior brother Night Sorrow to the city gate. Be careful. If junior brother Night Sorrow has something to do, go to the city lord's mansion. Marshal Uncle Lu and the other marshal uncles are all there, Chu Ling Xiao said to the two members of the law enforcement team. At the same time, he also reminded Night Sorrow to be careful. After exiting the city gate and bidding farewell to his escorts, Yi Shang sat on Tian Yu and left Danding City. He hurried for a while and made a small circle. When he didn't find anyone following him, he returned to Longquan courtyard. So late? You took so long to hand in the task. Seeing Night Sorrow coming back, Aoi complained. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that there was no need to hide it, so he told her what happened. How shameless. The Golden Flame sect is so aggressive. I'll go and kill their disciples now. Hearing that Night Sorrow was ambushed, Yang Lei was furious. Ninth sister, it's not appropriate. If you directly attack them, it will cause more conflict. If that happens, the Golden Flame sect will have to fight. It's completely unnecessary. That bastard Chu Ling Xiao did a good job today. Aoi stopped the furious Yang Lei. 13. I'll secretly follow you tomorrow and see who dares to attack you. Yang Lei thought for a while and didn't refute Aoi. It was indeed not a good time to attack. The Golden Flame sect's disciples could be killed, but if they took the initiative to attack, the conflict would intensify. The Medicine Valley wasn't afraid of war, but it was better to avoid it. After all, if they fought with the Golden Flame sect, it would be a fatal blow to the Medicine Valley. If the Golden Flame sect didn't let the Medicine Valley gain a foothold, then the Medicine Valley would definitely fight back. If the Golden Flame sect could restrain themselves, then the war wouldn't break out. The Medicine Valley needed time to find the sacred cauldron scripture. Okay, then you can follow me tomorrow. But I'm doing the task to train myself, so you don't have to do anything. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei left the courtyard to do the task. The task was to kill two peak tier, two black-scaled beasts that were attacking the village. This task wasn't difficult for Night Sorrow. He had hunted black-scaled beasts before, but they were still underage. These two black-scaled beasts were much stronger than the one Night Sorrow had killed. However, Night Sorrow was no longer the same as before. He finished the battle in 15 minutes. Chapter 148. This letter was brought by someone from the Eastern Profound Region headquarters. Sikong Chuyu was the inspector of Tianji Tower. Passing a letter through Tianjin Tower was a very simple matter. After reading the letter, Night Sorrow felt a lot more at ease. Sikong Chuyu had already arrived at Yunwu Mountain, and the Sikong clan couldn't reach there yet. Although Yunwu Mountain wasn't as powerful as the Sikong clan, they still couldn't be easily provoked. Moreover, they were relatives. Sikong Tianding was happy to see such a scene. His daughter was safe and protected from the attack from the clan. This was a good thing for him. The letter was several pages long. Apart from introducing his situation, the rest was about Night Sorrow's advice and concern. Sikong Chuyu told him to work hard and cultivate. If he could get the attention of Tianjin Tower, it would be best if he could enter Tianjin Tower. This was an opportunity for Night Sorrow to get out of this area. If he could enter Tianjin Tower, it would be much easier for Night Sorrow to see her. After folding the letter, Night Sorrow put it away. At this moment, Night Sorrow was very excited. He had always been worried about Sikong Chuyu's situation. He was very worried that the Sikong clan would take him back. Although his father would take care of it, it was still a troublesome matter. Sikong Chuyu's safety was no longer a problem. Night Sorrow's concern turned into longing. The silhouette of Sikong Chuyu, wearing a long robe and covered with a light veil, appeared in his mind. Night Sorrow, what did Miss say to you? Enforcer Dong asked. In the public square of Tianjin Tower, Enforcer Dong called her Lord. In private, he called her Mississippi. She didn't say anything. She just said that she's very good, Night Sorrow said. Miss is very good to you. She still wrote to you from so far away. You can't let her down, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. I won't. I definitely won't. Night Sorrow nodded very seriously. Someone from above wants to see you. The letter was also brought by someone from above, Enforcer Dong said. You want to see me? Then, Enforcer Dong, take me there. Night Sorrow was shocked. I can see the top management of Tianjin Tower now. This shouldn't be the case. Let's go. Enforcer Dong led Night Sorrow to the top floor of Tianjin Tower. In the room on the top floor, Night Sorrow saw a man in a black robe. The black-robed man's back was facing Night Sorrow. His figure was tall and straight, and his black hair was tied to the top of his head. There was a thread at the back of his head that was connected to a mask. At this moment, the man turned around and sized up Night Sorrow. He was wearing a half mask, so the upper part of his nose was visible. Sit. The man sat down first. Night Sorrow nodded and found a place to sit down. He wasn't nervous. This person probably didn't have any ill intentions. I've read your information and learned about it personally. Very good. Enforcer Dong, tell him about our Tianjin Tower's recruitment of talents, the man said to Enforcer Dong. Enforcer Dong repeated what he had told Night Sorrow before. Enforcer Dong, you can leave first. The black-robed man sent Enforcer Dong away. Obviously, he didn't want Enforcer Dong to know about the following conversation. Night Sorrow also understood this point. You know the situation. The probability of red talents being recruited is very low. Even if they are recruited, they will only go to the periphery. The probability of purple talents being recruited is very high. It can be said that they will basically be recruited. However, after being recruited, they will go to the periphery or the inner circle. It depends on their performance. At present, your cultivation path has just started. Tianjin Tower will give you some resources for your cultivation, the black-robed man said to Night Sorrow. If they give me cultivation resources now, aren't they worried that I won't accept Tianjin Tower's arrangement in the future? Or will I have to accept Tianjin Tower's arrangement when the time comes? Night Sorrow asked the doubts in his heart. To be able to consider the future, your thoughts are very meticulous. You can rest assured on this point. To do a little bit of effort to nurture outstanding talents, the Extreme Heaven Tower has this kind of spirit. At the very least, the cultivators who have been supported by the Extreme Heaven Tower in the future will not turn against the Extreme Heaven Tower, don't you think so? If you think about the downside, this is a kind of investment. After all, those who can get purple talents will definitely have achievements as long as they don't have any problems, the black-robed man said after carefully sizing up Night Sorrow for a while. Then I accept. I don't know what the future will be like. At the very least, I won't bite the hand that feeds me. Night Sorrow nodded. Well said. There are currently 18 people who have purple talents in the headquarters of Eastern Xian region, and your answer is the only one. In fact, I don't like people who swear loyalty when they open their mouths and say they will die before they close their mouths. They are too hypocritical. Who doesn't think for themselves, the black-robed man said with a smile. A man without desires is strong. If I am restricted too much, I will think about this and that every day, and I will feel uneasy, Night Sorrow said. That's right. There are indeed no restrictions at the moment. Even if you decide to enter Tianjin Tower, there will be few restrictions. This is my sincere words, the black-robed man said. I understand. From your words, I can feel Tianjin Tower's style of doing things. Night Sorrow believed the black-robed man's words because he was sincere. These are the resources that belong to you. 3 bottles of top-grade energy-gathering pills and 1 energy-breaking pill. When you cultivate, try to increase your speed as much as possible under the condition that your foundation is stable, because this is related to the degree of your attention. The black-robed man took out 4 bottles of pills and pushed them in front of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow opened the bottle of energy-gathering pills and took a look at them. He took out the pills he refined and looked at the differences in the middle. After a while, he put them down. They are indeed better than the ones I refined. The color is bright and the efficacy is high. The main thing is that there are almost no impurities. You can refine pills? Let me see the best pills you refined. The black-robed man's voice was a little surprised. His eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and took out the bottle of leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill. He opened it and took out 1 pill and handed it to the black-robed man. Permanently exempt from plus? Cost, 3 look/small PR. Say the black-robed man took the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill and looked at it. He rubbed his fingers and pinched a little bit of the pill. Then, he put it into his mouth from under the mask and closed his eyes to feel it for a while. A pill that strengthens the body and is also an auxiliary pill. This is very rare. I will keep this half of the pill and take it back to appraise its medicinal properties. Don't worry. Tianji Tower will not use this pill without a circulating pill formula. They will not refine this kind of pill. Even if they want to refine it, they will ask for your permission. The black-robed man put away the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill. This is nothing. Night Sorrow nodded. Chapter 149. Yi Shang nodded and left. The Empyrean Terminus Tower's attitude made him feel much better. When he read the letter from Sikong Chuyu telling him to try his best to join Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow was still a little conflicted because he didn't want to be restricted and restrained. However, he had already decided that if he could see Sikong Chuyu, it would be worth it to suffer a little. After listening to the black-robed old man's words, Night Sorrow understood that even if he joined Tianji Tower, he wouldn't suffer any grievances. Tianji Tower was very generous, which was also the reason why Tianjin Tower could develop to its current scale. As soon as Night Sorrow arrived at the lobby on the 1st floor, Yang Lei quickly walked over. What have you been doing? What took you so long? Originally, Yang Lei had been waiting for Night Sorrow on a street outside Tianji Tower. After waiting for a long time, Night Sorrow still hadn't come out. She became anxious and went directly to the lobby of Tianji Tower. Let's go first. We'll talk later. Night Sorrow left Tianji Tower with Yang Lei and went to a restaurant. He asked for a private room and ordered a few dishes. What's going on? Yang Lei was still a little anxious. However, it didn't take much time to hand over the mission. Night Sorrow had been in there for more than an hour. Sikong Chuyu sent me a letter. She has returned to Qingtian Domain and is with her grandfather. She's safe. Night Sorrow first told her about Sikong Chuyu. Well, that's good. Now that she's safe, you can settle down and work hard on your cultivation. That way, it will be easier to see her. You should know that those big families are very troublesome. They judge people by their strength. Yang Lei nodded. She was also very concerned about Sikong Chuyu. I know. Also, I got some benefits from Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow repeated what the black-robed old man had told him. The black-robed old man didn't say that this matter couldn't be told to outsiders. Besides, Yang Lei wasn't an outsider. This is a good thing. You have to seize this opportunity. Entering Tianji Tower is the dream of all cultivators. However, Tianji Tower's recruitment of talents is too harsh. Our Taishian Peak's highest-ranking disciple only received red attention. In the end, it was left unsettled, Yang Lei said. Why is the effect of the soul-gathering pill he gave me better than the soul-gathering pill I refined? Night Sorrow took out the soul-gathering pill the black-robed man gave him and asked. This is the work of a high-level alchemist. At the very least, your 6th senior sister can't concoct it, Yang Lei said. Then, she told Night Sorrow the difference between the soul-gathering pill and the ordinary one. The energy in the soul-gathering pill was purer and easier to absorb. There was almost no pill poison, so he could use it without worry. Well, Tianji Tower is really sincere. Knight Sorrow put away the soul-gathering pill and planned to try it when he returned to the Longquan courtyard. The Empyrean Terminus Tower has branches in the 9 realms and 18 states. They are very powerful. The better you perform, the more attention you will receive from the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Also, don't tell others about this. The Empyrean Terminus Tower doesn't like flamboyant people. Yang Lei reminded Yishang. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew what Yang Lei meant. Tianji Tower's information network was very powerful. They might know what you said the moment you said it. After eating with Yang Lei, the two took a stroll around Danding City to see the current situation between the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley. F-unique, G is the original L version, its A all P is WT steel or unspecified currency version Y. Currently, in Danding City, the Medicine Valley's disciples were patrolling everywhere. The Golden Flame sect's disciples were much more obedient. After walking around, the two returned to the Longquan courtyard. In the Longquan courtyard, Knight Sorrow saw Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei. 11th senior brother, sister Lingfei, you're here. Knight Sorrow greeted the two when he saw them. 13, I heard about what happened. If you meet anyone who messes with you in the future, kill them, Mo Chen said with a cold face. Mo Chen said coldly. A few days ago, he had gone to the Chu clan with Chu Lingfei, so when he found out that Zhang Peng had followed Yi Shan out of the city to attack him, he was furious. Senior brother, don't be angry. It's not that serious. I cut off that kid's hand and didn't continue. I wanted to kill him. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with the others in the courtyard for a while, Knight Sorrow returned to the second floor of the courtyard. He ate a soul-gathering pill and a leopard embryo muscle-strengthening pill and began to cultivate. During this cultivation, Yishang found that the top-grade soul-gathering pill was easier to absorb and convert than half a spirit-congealing pill. His refining speed had increased a lot, which was equivalent to increasing his cultivation speed. The efficiency was different. After cultivating for a night, Knight Sorrow woke up early. After a night of testing, he found that using the soul-gathering pill was faster, but refining the spirit concentration pill had some drawbacks. After stretching his muscles and bones, Knight Sorrow began to practice his spear arts and footwork in the practice field. These two were currently his main fighting methods. As for the Zhen Yu hand, Knight Sorrow only used it at critical times. It consumed too much energy. While Knight Sorrow was cultivating, the others were chatting and watching Knight Sorrow cultivate. Yi Shang only stopped when he was drenched in sweat. Are you going to continue to do missions today? Yang Lei asked after throwing a towel to Knight Sorrow. Yes, if it doesn't delay my cultivation, I plan to get a silver token to play with. Knight Sorrow said his decision with a smile. There was a reason for Yi Shang's decision. The attention level of the Empyrean Terminus Tower depended on one's performance in many aspects. Being able to upgrade the Qingtong token to a silver token as soon as possible was also an indication of one's qualifications. It's good that you have this idea, but there are some bronze missions that you can't do. There are many bronze missions that even core condensation cultivators are scared of. You can only start from the low-level bronze missions. You have to take the black iron missions with high points. Mo Chen said. I understand. Knight Sorrow nodded. After packing up, Knight Sorrow and Yang Lei set off. Knight Sorrow still has 2 bronze missions to complete. 2 missions, one is to go to the Ice Mountain to collect 3 bottles of ice spring water. Knight Sorrow has been to the Ice Mountain before. When he took the Iron-backed Bear's gallbladder mission, he did it on the Ice Mountain. However, it was halfway up the mountain. This time, he was going to the top of the mountain. The ice spring water at the top of the ice mountain can't be faked. Only ice jade bottles can hold it. Other containers will instantly freeze and crack. Knight Sorrow and Yang Lei rode the Tianyu and the Azure Eagle to the top of the ice mountain. 13. Be careful. You can't fly after 10,000 meters. There are flying monsters above. You can't be discovered. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. Snow eagles are social monsters. If they were discovered, it would be a big problem. Of course, this is under the condition that Yang Lei doesn't make a move. The two have already agreed that if they don't meet people from the Golden Flame sect, Yang Lei won't make a move. She only followed Night Sorrow because the Golden Flame sect wanted to assassinate Night Sorrow. Chapter 150. The cause of the matter was that Chu Ning, Tang Tian, and a few other Tai Xian Peak disciples were eating in a restaurant. Perhaps they were talking too loudly about Yi Shang's fight for the Yuan role. As a result, the Golden Flame sect disciples at another table were unhappy. They quarreled and ended up fighting. Chu Ning and the others were not even in the third level of gathering element, so they were no match for the Golden Flame sect disciples who came out to train. As a result, they were beaten black and blue. They were discovered by the Medicine Valley's patrol team and started fighting. In the end, the Medicine Valley disciples were at a disadvantage. The leader of the Golden Flame sect disciples was a middle-aged man with a high cultivation level. As the fight escalated, Gong Xian and Yi Shui's patrol team arrived. Seeing this, Gong Xian immediately took action. He beat up the leader of the Golden Fire sect along with a few other disciples, and even made them apologize. Such an incident naturally alarmed Zhang Qinghe of the Golden Flame Pavilion. Zhang Qinghe came and refused to apologize. He wanted to take them away. Gong Xian naturally disagreed. Chu Ning and Tang Tian were both his disciples. They were beaten up by Su Mu some time ago. Su Mu was from the Medicine Valley, so he couldn't react too violently. Now that they were from the Golden Flame sect, of course he wouldn't tolerate it. Yu Yangyu and the other peak masters had made a decision. The Golden Flame sect couldn't do anything extreme in the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley recognized the Golden Flame sect's status and also acknowledged the Medicine Valley as its subordinate force. However, it only handed over resources. The Golden Flame sect couldn't reach into the Medicine Valley. That way, the Medicine Valley would slowly be nibbled away and eventually lose its place of survival. Gong Xian, it's not good for you to do this. Do you really want to escalate the conflict? Zhang Qinghe said with a cold face. Escalate the conflict? That's your fault. You came to slap us in the face, and then we retaliated and escalated the conflict? Are you going to apologize or not? If not, I'll let your enforcers take your corpses back. Gong Xian's long sword fell on the neck of the Golden Flame sect's leader. I apologize, I apologize. This middle-aged disciple of the Golden Flame sect was a level 4 spirit-severing stage cultivator, but in the face of death, he chose to compromise. There was nothing he could do about it. If he did not apologize, Gong Xian would kill him. The Golden Flame sect would avenge him after his death. Between losing his life and compromising, he could only choose to compromise. Get lost. Gong Xian kicked the man in front of Zhang Qinghe. Gong Xian, have you thought of the consequences of doing this? Zhang Qinghe's face was ashen. Today, the Golden Flame sect had lost face. The area that our Medicine Valley relies on for survival has been invaded. What consequences are there to consider? Instead of being slowly nibbled away, we'll just fight to the death. We disciples of the Medicine Valley have the courage to do so. If you don't believe me, you can let the disciples of the Golden Flame sect continue to provoke us. Gong Xian snorted coldly and left with the enforcement team, Chu Ning and the other disciples of the Tai Xian Peak. Zhang Qinghe was so angry that he stomped his feet. He went over and slapped the injured disciples of the Golden Flame sect. Then, he turned and left. He had to report this matter. The situation was very difficult to deal with. The original plan was to slowly encroach on the Medicine Valley's ruling power in Danding City. However, the Medicine Valley was like an enraged lion. As long as there was a threat in their territory, they would attack without hesitation. As for the determination of the Medicine Valley, Zhang Qinghe did not doubt it. If the Medicine Valley did not have the determination to fight to the death, they would not be so domineering. After returning to the Golden Flame Pavilion, Zhang Xinghe went to report to Elder Qi. Night Sorrow sat on Tianyu and flew to a height of nearly 10,000 meters before stopping. He put Tianyu back into the beast-taming space and slowly moved forward with the reincarnation spear. The difficulty of this mission lay in how to avoid the demonic beasts. After all, demonic beasts ran rampant on this ice mountain. The probability of being discovered was very high. Yang Lei put away the green condor and followed behind Night Sorrow. She would not help Night Sorrow with the mission, but she would also not hinder Night Sorrow. She followed closely behind Night Sorrow. The appearance of demonic beasts was also because of Night Sorrow. It was also a training that should be part of the mission. Night Sorrow moved forward very quickly. From time to time, he would look at the demonic beast's footprints on the ground. Based on the demonic beast's footprints, he could distinguish the information of the nearby demonic beasts. Halfway up the ice mountain, the ground was covered with snow that had been frozen hard by the cold air. It was not easy to leave a mark on it. Halfway up the mountain, it was even more ridiculous. Snowflakes were constantly falling. However, it was precisely because of the snowflakes that Night Sorrow could better detect the information of the demonic beasts. As they moved forward, Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow's ability to avoid danger was too strong. He had already avoided many demonic beasts. Yang Lei's detection area was very large. She could detect places that Night Sorrow could not. This was because she could sense the energy in the demonic beasts' bodies. The energy fluctuations could not be hidden from her. However, Night Sorrow could not. His cultivation had not reached that level. He avoided the demonic beasts by relying on his sight, smell, and instinct for danger. They reached the top of the ice mountain without any danger. The area of a normal mountain peak might not be large. However, the area of the ice mountain peak was large. It was a small snowfield. According to the mission records, the ice spring at the top of the mountain existed in the middle of the snowfield. The symbol was a 10,000-year-old ancient birch tree. The ice spring was right next to the ancient birch tree. Senior sister, do you think that Tianji Tower understood the mission so clearly and directly completed it? Why did they have to go through so much trouble? Night Sorrow whispered. They did not come to investigate. They came to this conclusion based on some ancient books, the situation of the last mission, and the rumors among the cultivators. Tianji Tower is the most well-informed. Therefore, they were able to investigate all of this. Yang Lei opened her mouth and said, "Long time no see. T free \% look at the small tick, say it." "I understand," Night Sorrow replied as he carefully moved forward in stealth. He not only had to be careful of the demonic beasts on the ground, but also the ones in the air. Just now, Night Sorrow was alert. When a few snow eagles flew past, he hid under the branches of an ancient pine tree. That was why he was not discovered. As for Yang Lei, she was some distance away from Night Sorrow and had hidden early. In order to resist the bone-chilling cold of the ice snow mountain, Night Sorrow could only circulate the energy of the myriad Tao Tome in his body. This way, he would not be frozen stiff. Only when one cultivated to the spirit-severing stage would they be able to produce protective chi. Night Sorrow did not have this ability. From time to time, there would be vibrations on the ground. Those were the sounds of demonic beasts running and hunting. There were also snow eagles whistling in the air from time to time. These were all fatal threats. He did not dare to move forward quickly. After more than 4 hours, Night Sorrow finally saw the ancient birch tree marked in the mission. Although he saw the ancient birch tree, Night Sorrow did not dare to go over. This was because more than a dozen snow eagles were fighting fiercely with a snow fox with silver-white fur. Night Sorrow crouched behind a cedar tree and observed. 13, you may have profited this time. Yang Lei, who was leaning against Night Sorrow, said. Senior sister, what do you mean? Night Sorrow lowered his voice and asked. Chapter 151. I don't know. Night Sorrow really didn't know much about Silver Fox. Silver fox's blood is an important supplementary ingredient in the Tier 5 clear void pill. It is much more precious than the main ingredient. It is said that silver fox has the bloodline of the ancient mutated beast, nine-tailed fox, Yang Lei whispered. I see. I have seen the ancient mutated beast, nine-tailed fox. I didn't expect silver fox to be a descendant of the ancient nine-tailed fox, Night Sorrow said in surprise. That's what they say, but I've never heard of a silver fox's bloodline awakening. If the bloodline awakened, the silver fox wouldn't just have one tail, but four. At most, one of them would be a little smaller, Yang Lei explained to Yishan. Following Yang Lei's explanation, Night Sorrow also found out that silver fox's cultivation was at the early stage of Tier 4. The snow eagles in the sky were all Tier 3. Most of them were at the middle stage of Tier 3, and 2 were at the late stage of Tier 3. This was a snow eagle family, and the 2 with the highest cultivation were the elders of the family. The battle was very intense. Silver fox's cultivation was high, but the snow eagles had the advantage of flying and numbers. Slowly, Silver Fox was unable to hold on. Its body was covered in the snow eagle's claw marks. However, the snow eagles had also suffered heavy losses. A few of them had been torn apart by Silver Fox, and all of them were injured. The battle was very fierce. If it continued, both sides would suffer heavy losses or even perish together. Looking at the situation, Silver Fox originally occupied the ice spring surroundings. After giving birth, its body became weak, and the snow eagles came to snatch the territory. Yang Lei gave her analysis. Night Sorrow nodded, feeling that it made sense. The battle was very fierce, but Night Sorrow could only watch. No matter which side it was, he couldn't resist, even if he was heavily injured. A starving camel was still bigger than a horse. Late stage of Tier 3 and early stage of Tier 4 could easily take Night Sorrow's life. The battle was still going on. Both sides were making their last stand. Silver Fox was determined not to retreat, and so was Snow Eagle. At this point in the battle, if they could not take down the Ice Spring stronghold, then they would have lost so many family members for nothing. An hour later, the battle was over. Both Silver Fox and Snow Eagle were lying on the snow. Some of them were still breathing, but that was the last moment of their lives. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei walked out. Night Sorrow first walked to the Silver Fox cub, looked at it, gave it a piece of jerky, and then went to the ice spring. This was an ice spring formed from tens of millions of years of accumulated snow. The benefits of cultivating beside the ice spring were great. However, this place was not suitable for humans. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and filled it with water. Other than what was needed for the mission, he also made some for himself. The ice spring water was not useful for cultivation, but it could be used for alchemy and refining equipment. After keeping the ice spring water, Night Sorrow glanced at the corpses of Silver Fox and Snow Eagle. He took out the reincarnation spear and started working. He dug out the crystal cores from the Snow Eagle's body. He even put the most ferocious Snow Eagle's corpse into his storage ring, saving it to feed Tianyu. Yang Lei collected the Silver Fox's blood and began to skin the Silver Fox. However, the Silver Fox cub continued to cause trouble. Night Sorrow stopped eating the jerky that he gave it and kept attacking Yang Lei. Although it was still very small, it was very fierce. Initial, send M, it is protecting its mother's corpse. Let's not continue to destroy it. Night Sorrow went forward and stopped Yang Lei. At the same time, he bent down and looked at the Silver Fox cub. Hurry up and leave. This is not a safe place. Night Sorrow reached out and stroked the Silver Fox cub. Strangely, the Silver Fox cub, which was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Yang Lei, calmed down when it saw Night Sorrow. It then crawled to the Silver Fox's corpse and squatted down. Yang Lei passed the Silver Fox's blood to Night Sorrow and then looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "Don't you plan to take this little guy with you?" In the eyes of cultivators, the value of a demonic beast cub with such potential was very high. Ninth senior sister, it is very pitiful. Let it go. Night Sorrow took out another piece of jerky and threw it in front of the silver fox cub. All right. I am just here to accompany you on the mission. I don't care if the people of Golden Flame sect attack you. You can decide for yourself. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow waved his hand at the silver fox cub and left with Yang Lei. He knew that the silver fox cub was very valuable, but he saw himself in the silver fox cub. When he saw himself being protected by his guards, he was full of sympathy. After Night Sorrow and Yang Lei left, the silver fox cub moved and followed beside Night Sorrow. It followed every step that Night Sorrow took. Ninth senior sister. Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei in surprise. Demonic beasts with high bloodline are born with sensitive senses. It knows that you are not hostile to it. You may be the first creature it has seen that is not hostile to it except for its mother, so it feels close to you. I just touched its mother's body, so it hates me. Yang Lei said. She seemed to understand what the older generation often said. Everything was destined. Night Sorrow did not force the silver fox cub to take it with him, but the silver fox cub liked to follow Night Sorrow. This was destined. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up the silver fox cub, then take it back and raise it in the Dragon Spring courtyard. Well, you can decide. But since we are taking it with us, then we should be benevolent and bury its mother. Yang Lei sighed and went back to take action. Seeing Yang Lei touch the silver fox's body, the silver fox cub was angry again. It jumped down from Night Sorrow's body and attacked Yang Lei's calf. Little guy, let me tell you. If you don't deal with it, other demonic beasts will eat it, so you have to bury it. There is no malice. Night Sorrow stopped the silver fox cub and told Yang Lei to make a snow pit first and then bury it directly. Otherwise, the little guy would be tormented. I am really convinced. Yang Lei was helpless and could only do it according to Night Sorrow's method. Night Sorrow's method was indeed effective. The silver fox cub looked at the silver fox's body being buried, and its eyes were full of confusion. After tidying up, Night Sorrow carried the silver fox cub and went down the mountain. Yang Lei followed behind. Yang Lei was still a little stunned. Night Sorrow just did a mission to get the ice spring water and he could make so many things happen and get so many benefits. Last time, when he eliminated the mountain bandits, he brought back a few smart maids and also got a treasure map. Was this the luck of an ordinary person? She now understood. You talked about luck that day. How could Night Sorrow explain this? Luck, to put it bluntly, wasn't luck the embodiment of luck? After more than 2 hours, Night Sorrow took the silver fox cub and Yang Lei to the bottom of the mountain. Catch some prey. Tonight we will go down the mountain and camp. Night Sorrow made a decision. Chapter 152. What? Night Sorrow was stunned. He slipped and fell to the ground. The silver fox cub was also thrown to the side. It bumped into Yang Lei's body and its claws landed on Yang Lei's chest. Ah! Yang Lei screamed. Her body went limp and she fell to the ground. Yishan followed closely and laid on top of her. She fell to the ground and the two of them looked at each other. Then, Yishan hurriedly got up and pressed his hands on Yang Lei's chest. Night Sorrow's face was red after he got up. He was extremely embarrassed. You bastard. How dare you take advantage of your senior sister? Ah Oi, who was wearing a long robe and a blue veil, blushed. She looked extremely charming in the wind and snow. Ninth senior sister, I didn't mean it. Night Sorrow quickly apologized. He didn't know how to explain it. Okay, I scared you. Let's go and hunt. I'm hungry. Yang Lei changed the topic. She glared at Night Sorrow when she saw that Night Sorrow was still in a daze. I'll go. Let's go now. We'll fly down with Tianyu and the green condor. We'll look for suitable prey. Night Sorrow released Tianyu and carried the silver fox cub on Tianyu's back. Yang Lei smiled when she saw how anxious Night Sorrow was. She understood everything. She was joking at the beginning. She scared Night Sorrow, which led to the series of events. After reaching Tier 3, Sky Feather had become much stronger. When she discovered a lone snow bear, she led Night Sorrow to circle in the air and attack. Very quickly, they killed the snow bear that had just reached Tier 3. Tianyu grabbed the snow bear's body with his claws and flew down the snow mountain. Tianyu's body was already very big. Even if he was carrying Night Sorrow on his back, it wouldn't be a problem for him to carry a 500-pound snow bear. After descending from the ice snow mountain and finding a place with a good environment, Night Sorrow let Tianyu land. He then started a fire and started to clean up the snow bear. Yang Lei also came over to help. Ninth senior sister, you rest. I can do it myself. Night Sorrow's heart had not calmed down yet. 13, I'm not blaming you. What's wrong with that? I was just joking with you. You didn't mean it. Yang Lei smiled as she looked at the nervous Night Sorrow. Ninth senior sister, I've really let you down. Night Sorrow apologized. Then you should be obedient in the future. Don't make ninth senior sister angry. Yang Lei said with a smile. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded and roasted the snow bear. He then went to play with the silver fox cub. He knew that Yang Lei was really not angry, so he felt a lot more at ease. After roasting the snow bear, Night Sorrow cut a piece for Yang Lei and a piece for the silver fox cub. He kept a little for himself and the rest for Tianyu. After eating, Night Sorrow let Tianyu rest. He then took out a piece of bear skin and handed it to Yang Lei. Senior sister, it's cold at night. You can rest on it. It's warmer. What about you? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm a man. This cold is nothing. Night Sorrow said with a smile. No need. Senior sister has vital energy to protect her body. You should use it. Yang Lei shook her head. Senior sister, listen to me. Night Sorrow finished and left. He went to the other side and sat on the ground and began to cultivate. Seeing Yi Shang's insistence, Yang Lei didn't say anything else. After spreading out the animal skin, she discovered that it was very big. After thinking for a moment, she called out to Yi Shang, 13th junior brother, this animal skin is so big. It won't be a problem for two people to sit on it. No, I'm fine like this. Night Sorrow shook his head. I called you over. You just said that you would listen to me in the future. Now you're like this? Yang Lei was a little angry. How could she watch Night Sorrow sit on the grass and cultivate? Not to mention the animal skin was really big. Seeing Yang Lei unhappy, Night Sorrow came over and sat in the corner of the animal skin. After sitting down, Night Sorrow took out the best quality soul gathering pill and leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill. He ate them and began to cultivate. The silver fox cub lay beside him, looking around with its dark eyes. See, +0, edition and chapter 69. Supra WL. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow found that his myriad Tao Tome had reached a bottleneck. He had reached the peak of level 2 muscle strengthening realm. The energy in his body was saturated. If he did not level up, then he could not continue to improve. After opening his eyes, Night Sorrow saw that Yang Lei was already preparing food. She had woken up much earlier than him. Ninth senior sister, you woke up so early? Night Sorrow greeted. Seeing that you were cultivating, I sent the cyan condor out to catch some prey. However, your Tianyu is quite good. It went out to catch a snow python and a pheasant, Yang Lei said as she processed the food. I don't know why, but Tianyu is interested in snake and python food. But I like to eat pheasant, so he is used to catching prey. Night Sorrow said. It is the nature of the Peng to like python food. Tianyu's fur is similar to the Xuanwan, but his appearance is similar to the green eagle. So it is normal that he likes to eat python food. But he knows how to help you catch birds and game. This is an outstanding display of intelligence. My green eagle does not have this ability. Yang Lei looked at Tianyu and said. After chatting with Yang Lei for a while, Night Sorrow went to wash up. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow felt refreshed. But yesterday's incident still made him embarrassed to face Yang Lei. In fact, he could not face himself. When he saw Yang Lei, he could think of yesterday's scene. The warm feeling on his hand was still in his heart. After eating, Night Sorrow decided to do the second mission. This mission was an investigation mission. Someone in Yundong town had mysteriously disappeared. It needed to be investigated. Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and Yang Lei rode the Green Eagle. It took them a day to reach Yundong town. After entering the town, Yishang discovered that something was amiss. It was deathly silent, and there were barely any pedestrians on the main street. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei wanted to ask, but they could not find anyone. The town closed the door when they saw a stranger. How can this be? Night Sorrow frowned. He did not understand. It's simple. They have people missing here and don't know the reason, so they are afraid. It is hopeless to ask them. Let's go to the mayor and see if anything special has happened recently, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. The mayor lived in a dilapidated house on the east side of the town. Night Sorrow took out his Medicine Valley Disciple token and the bronze token of Tianji Tower. Only then did the mayor feel relieved. Then, Night Sorrow asked questions. The mayor did not know anything. He only said that 2 women came to the town a month ago. After the 2 women left, people began to disappear. After asking more questions, Night Sorrow came to the conclusion that the missing people in the town were all young men and some teenagers. Chapter 153. But they are all cultivation techniques that cultivators despise. If they are discovered, they will be killed immediately, Yang Lei said after pondering for a moment. There really are? I thought Old Man Gu was telling me a story, so I asked casually. If there really is such a cultivation technique, the missing man might have been captured to cultivate it, Night Sorrow said. Didn't I tell you that this is a cultivation technique that no cultivator would touch? If they are discovered, they will be killed immediately. Didn't you hear me? Yang Lei reached out to pat Night Sorrow's head. This was her personality and habit, and it was also something that Night Sorrow couldn't figure out. Yang Lei's figure was tall and slender, and her figure was exquisite. Her appearance was also the type that men would be attracted to, or even want to protect. However, under this appearance, there was a straightforward and violent personality in her delicate body. Ninth senior sister, don't hit me. There's a problem. Night Sorrow reached out to block Yang Lei's hand. Io, little 13, you dare to resist now? If you can't explain it clearly, do you want me to slap you? Yang Lei retracted her hand and glared at Night Sorrow. Senior sister, the premise of being killed is to be discovered. What about not being discovered? There are many people who take risks out of desperation. With enough benefits, people will do anything no matter how dangerous it is. Night Sorrow shared his opinion. That's true. If you're discovered, you'll be killed. But if you're not discovered, you can increase your strength. Even if you go to a remote place, you'll still be a mountain king. Hearing Yishang's words, Yang Lei felt that Yishang's words made sense. Therefore, we will scout the surroundings of the town and see if there are any clues. Then, we will hide at night. Among the missing people, there are those who go missing in the wilderness. Aren't there also those who mysteriously disappear at night? Night Sorrow explained the direction of his investigation. Yang Lei didn't have any opinions about Night Sorrow's analysis and decision. She felt that although Night Sorrow was young, his meticulous thinking was incomparable to that of an adult. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei carefully scouted the surroundings of the town. The Green Eagle and Tianyu had already been put away. The silver fox cub lay on Night Sorrow's shoulder, its 4 little claws tightly grasping Night Sorrow's shoulder. Night Sorrow's actions didn't affect its comfort at all. Since he didn't find anything in the town's surroundings, Night Sorrow decided to expand his search area. He had more or less figured out the town's surrounding terrain. Senior sister, I think the problem should be in the mountains in the east and north. The south and west are not suitable for hiding. Yi Shang asked for Yang Lei's opinion. Let's go north first. I feel that if we want to hide, the possibility of hiding in the north is higher. Yang Lei nodded. The two of them searched towards the north of the town. After searching for nearly 20 miles, they still didn't find any clues. 13, why don't we change our direction? Yang Lei asked. No. Even if there is a problem, the person wouldn't hide so close. Don't expect to find too many clues within 30 miles. Since we are searching this area, we should do it all at once. Otherwise, if we don't find anything in the east, we will have to do it again. Night Sorrow didn't agree with Yang Lei's opinion. All right. Actually, I am afraid that you will be anxious. It seems that you are quite patient. Yang Lei nodded at Night Sorrow. They continued to search. After searching for 4 hours, they had already traveled 15 kilometers. After nearly 40 kilometers, Night Sorrow stopped because he had made a discovery. His discovery was that there were footprints by the stream. Although they were shallow, Yi Shang still saw them. Just as Yang Lei was about to speak, Night Sorrow gestured for her to be quiet. Then, he came to Yang Lei's side. Ninth senior sister, look at the footprints. They are so small. It doesn't belong to a man. It seems that we were right. Along the way, Night Sorrow focused on the leeward areas that had water and were suitable for shelter. You are quite capable. I didn't notice the footprints just now. What do you plan to do next? Yang Lei was a little embarrassed. In this aspect, she was not as good as Night Sorrow. If people want to survive, they can't live without water. Let's not search anymore. It will be easy to miss the opportunity. If we miss the opportunity to appear, we will wait here. Once we find out, we will directly eliminate them, Night Sorrow said. I say, 13, do you know what your mission is? You are here to investigate. Whether or not you eliminate them is not your mission, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder. No, I can't watch innocent villagers continue to be persecuted. Night Sorrow shook his head. I really have to hand it to you. How are we going to wait here now? Yang Lei did not continue to persuade Night Sorrow. She knew that the local customs here were similar to Bamboo Garden Village. Night Sorrow was familiar with it. That ancient willow. Let's go up there. That way, the field of vision will be wider and it won't be easy to be discovered, Night Sorrow said as he pointed at an ancient willow not far away. Yang Lei nodded and looked at Night Sorrow. After hesitating for a moment, she reached out and hugged Night Sorrow's waist. With a stomp of her feet, she jumped into the air and directly landed on the ancient willow. Ninth senior sister, I can actually climb up by myself, Night Sorrow said with some embarrassment. So you're saying that ninth senior sister's actions are unnecessary? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with an unhappy expression. No, senior sister, you stay on top. I'll just watch from below. The two of them squeezed together. Night Sorrow was a little nervous. Update S new fastest D on LNZ, didn't you see that I changed my dress today? Yang Lei reached out and knocked on Night Sorrow's head. I can't stand on senior sister's head, right? Ninth senior sister, go up. I won't raise my head. Night Sorrow didn't know how to explain himself, so he could only make a promise. Yang Lei ignored Night Sorrow and moved to the side. Then, she sat on a tree branch. She was here to accompany Night Sorrow. As for the mission, it was Night Sorrow's matter. Night Sorrow carried the silver fox cub down from his shoulder and placed it on the tree branch. Then, he looked around himself. Time slipped away bit by bit. When it was close to evening, two women appeared. Both of them were coquettish women wearing red dresses. Their clothes were particularly revealing, and only covered their vital parts. When they arrived at the stream, the two of them directly went into the water to wash. Then, they took out buckets from their storage belts to draw water. After they were done, they kept the buckets in their storage belts. After collecting the water, the two of them grabbed each other a few times and made some unbearable sounds. Looking at the two women leaving, Night's Sorrow floated down the tree. When Night's Sorrow moved, the silver fox cub called out and went down the tree at the same time. Night's Sorrow bent down and picked up the silver fox cub. He reached out and knocked on its head. Then, he quickly chased in the direction of the two women. He didn't want to lose them. If that happened, it would be troublesome to keep watch. The two women wearing revealing clothes didn't notice that Night's Sorrow was following them. They walked for 4 to 5 miles and entered a small valley. Chapter 154. Be careful, those two flirtatious women's cultivations are not simple. One of them is at the peak of the third order. Yang Lei reminded Night's Sorrow. She looked at the two flirtatious women and felt anger in her heart. They were too disgraceful and too embarrassing for women. Night's Sorrow nodded and extended his hand to knock on the silver fox cub's head. You better obediently lie down here. If you dare to run around, I won't want you anymore. Seeing that the silver fox cub was not moving, Night's Sorrow carried his reincarnation spear and entered the valley. Seeing Night's Sorrow enter, Yang Lei felt a little uneasy. She extended her hand to carry the silver fox cub that was still resisting and quietly followed behind Night's Sorrow. When Yang Lei followed, Night's Sorrow discovered it. However, he did not stop her as he knew that Yang Lei was worried about him. After advancing for a while, the scene that he saw made Night's Sorrow's head buzz. The blood in his body also sped up as he saw an extremely terrifying and brutal scene. Not far from the entrance of the valley, there was a pile of bones. It was a pile of skeletons that was only skin and bones. The flesh and blood of the body were gone. Night's Sorrow took a deep breath and calmed himself down. From the robes on the skeletons, Night's Sorrow could confirm that these people were the missing villagers. Yang Lei went forward and pulled Night's Sorrow, who was obviously emotionally unstable, out of the valley. Ninth senior sister, they are not humans. In the pile of skeletons just now, there were a few that clearly belonged to a teenager. Night's Sorrow was very angry. I know, the matter is basically investigated clearly. Your mission is complete. Do you really plan to kill the two of them? One is at the middle of the third order and the other is at the peak of the third order. Yang Lei opened her mouth and said. She did not plan to make a move. Night's Sorrow took 2 deep breaths and calmed himself down. If we just leave like this, there will be innocent villagers who will be harmed by them. Let me think about it. After thinking for a while, Night's Sorrow calmed down. He knew that he was only here for an investigation mission. However, if he just left like this and waited for the Tianji Tower to give another mission to kill the 2 demonesses, there would be villagers who would be killed in the meantime. However, he could not kill them. It could be said that the chances were very slim and close to 0. Night's Sorrow's eyes lit up and suddenly had an idea. Since they are inhumane and indifferent to life, then I will not be polite. 13. It's not about being polite or not. If those 2 women want to kill you, it is no different from pinching a chicken. Do you want senior sister to help you? This has nothing to do with the mission. Yang Lei didn't plan on letting Night's Sorrow take the risk. No need. When we came, I saw a stalk of snake blood grass. Normally, it is nothing, but once it is burned, it will produce poisonous smoke. It will slow down the blood circulation of people and animals, and their qi will not be able to circulate. Night's Sorrow said. This was what he found when he was approaching the small stream. The snake blood grass was a poisonous plant that was nourished by the poisonous blood of a dead snake. Then we will listen to you. Seeing that Night's Sorrow had a plan, Yang Lei did not stop him. It was best if Night's Sorrow could solve it himself. Night's Sorrow returned to the small stream and tore the hem of his robe. He wrapped his hand and picked the snake blood grass, then returned to the valley. This time, he did not plan to enter from the entrance. He planned to sneak in from the side of the valley and see if there was a chance to poison them. Yang Lei followed behind Night Sorrow. She was still carrying the silver fox cub, but the silver fox cub was very unwilling. Following the slope of the valley, the two of them sneaked to the end of the valley. At the end of the valley, two women in bare clothes were making tea and chatting. In the innermost part of the valley was a cave. At the entrance of the cave, two strong young men were tied up. However, they were very weak and dispirited. It was obvious that they did not have enough chi. "Big sister, do you mean that after we deal with these people, we should go somewhere else?" The skinnier woman on the left asked. "That's right. We can't stay here for too long. We've captured a lot of young adults in this town. If we continue to stay here, we'll easily attract the attention of others. If high-level cultivators come, we'll be in trouble." The woman with her hair down and her breasts almost exposed said. "Then let's go further away and change to another place. Cultivating like this will increase our cultivation quickly," the skinny woman said. After drinking the tea, the two of them stood up. The woman with her hair down fed the two men a pill each. Then, the two women each carried one pill into the cave. After a while, the cave was filled with sounds that made Night Sorrow and Yang Lei blush. There were men roaring like beasts and women moaning. Looking at the original chapter? $2. Night Sorrow took the snake blood grass and wanted to throw it into the fire, but he was hesitant. "Are you worried about those two men? They won't be able to live. Their essence and chi have been sucked dry. Even if they are saved, they won't be able to live for more than a few days." Yang Lei's face was red, but her words were filled with anger. After hearing Yang Lei's words, Night Sorrow's worries disappeared. With a flick of his right hand, he threw the snake blood grass into the fire. Because Night Sorrow used too much strength, the snake blood grass smashed into the fire. At this moment, the woman with her hair down dashed out of the cave without any clothes on. Yang Lei reached out one hand and covered Night Sorrow's eyes. With the other hand, she pressed down on Night Sorrow's head. The two of them lay in the grass on the slope of the valley. The woman scouted around, killed a mountain rat, and returned to the cave. That sound rang out again. Night Sorrow knew that he was too excited and used too much strength. Fortunately, the two women didn't notice. Night Sorrow took out a towel and a jar of wine from his storage ring. He wet the towel, covered his mouth and nose, and tied it behind his head. He also dealt with the silver fox cub, then looked at Yang Lei. Yang Lei knew that Night Sorrow's purpose was to stop the poison from corroding her body. However, she shook her head. At this moment, she had already used her chi to protect her body, so the poison couldn't corrode her body. Time slowly passed, and the sounds in the cave gradually quieted down. A moment later, two naked women, each dragging a man, walked out of the cave. The two men didn't make any sound, and some of their essence and chi were gone. Other than the fact that they were still breathing, they were no different from the skeletons outside. They directly threw the two men who were still alive on the pile of skeletons. The two women didn't care about them anymore. They went back to the fire and didn't put on any clothes. They just put on a simple gauze and sat down to make tea. The youngest, "I don't feel so good. We'll leave tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll leave here and change to another area. Why can't I use my chi?" the woman with long hair said. After she finished speaking, her face changed. The other thin woman also looked at the woman with long hair in surprise. Chapter 155. The long-haired woman did not see anyone else. Now that something had happened, she instinctively suspected the other woman. "Big sister, how can you say that about me? I really don't know." The skinny woman stood up and said. When she stood up, her body swayed a little. "You don't know? Is it because I didn't give you that delicate and pretty little fellow yesterday? Are you upset?" The woman with long hair roared harshly. "Stop arguing, all of you scum. Scum of the human race, a disgrace of women. Yang Lei appeared and slapped the two of them in the face. Then, he didn't care that their clothes were untidy. He lifted his leg and kicked them viciously. He even kicked their chests and the vital parts below. Yi Shan could only turn around and not look. Hiss, hiss. Following the sound of sword chi breaking through the air, the two women let out a short scream. Night Sorrow turned around and saw that Yang Lei had already beheaded the two women. Then, she pulled out the storage belts that were hanging outside their veils. I'll help you check. Don't take the unsightly things. Yang Lei took the two storage belts and threw some messy things on the fire. Then, she handed the storage belts to Night Sorrow. The storage belts were much lower grade than the storage rings. They did not recognize the owner. In other words, they could be used by anyone. Yi Shang took out the items inside the box. The two women did not have any treasures. Their messy clothes were burned by Yang Lei. Only some gold notes, a few bottles of pills, and a book were left. That pill might be an aphrodisiac. Don't eat it. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. Harmony technique? That's what they cultivate? Just destroy it. Night Sorrow took the book and was about to tear it. Don't. I've heard of this cultivation method before. Actually, if one's heart is righteous and both husband and wife cultivate it together, the cultivation results are very obvious. However, they didn't use it in the right place and cultivated the evil side. Yang Lei stopped Yi Shan. GC, *original, Chapter K Section, O above W, 9th Senior Sister, if you want it, take it. In the future, you can follow senior brother-in-law to cultivate. Night Sorrow threw the book to Yang Lei. You're going to die. Keep it. Yang Lei blushed and threw the book back to Night Sorrow. All right. Whenever 9th Senior Sister wants it, just let me know. Night Sorrow nodded and put away the ancient book. Clean them up and collect their heads. Also, bring back a skeleton as proof of completing the mission. Is that appropriate? Night Sorrow didn't mind carrying the murderer's head, but he couldn't accept carrying the victim's remains. Use their dirty storage belts to put one in. Also, inform the people in town to collect the body. Yang Lei thought Night Sorrow didn't want it to be dirty and unlucky. Senior Sister, I'm saying that it's better for people to be buried. It's not appropriate for us to torture their remains. Night Sorrow expressed his thoughts. We solved the problem for their town and avenged them. They owe us a favor. What's wrong with bringing them back as proof? However, there's a way to solve this problem. Bring the mayor and the people in town tomorrow and ask them to write a statement saying that they're not allowed to be so pedantic in the future. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Seeing that Yang Lei didn't force him, Night Sorrow smiled and put away the two demon girls' heads. The two of them didn't move at all and quickly left the valley. They rode the green condor and left with Tianyu. After all, the poisonous smoke from the snake blood grass was still there and it would take a while for it to disperse. After arriving in town, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei went to the mayor's house and explained the situation in detail. When the mayor heard that the problem was solved, he couldn't wait any longer. He immediately gathered the villagers in town and rushed to the location provided by Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei, who originally planned to rest, rode Tianyu and the green condor to the valley to wait. When the two of them arrived, the charcoal fire was extinguished and there was a gentle breeze. The poisonous smoke was no longer there. The mountain people were very fast on the mountain roads and they were familiar with the terrain. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei provided the location, so they arrived in an hour. When the villagers saw the remains and recognized their own people, they all burst into tears. The mayor was also very grateful to Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Although he was sad, the hidden danger was solved. After letting the villagers deal with the aftermath, the mayor brought Night Sorrow and Yang Lei back to the town. He found the richest family to stay in and arranged for people to prepare food for them. Night Sorrow said that he needed proof and the mayor immediately agreed. Taking out a pen and paper, the mayor wrote down the situation at the scene. When Yang Lei asked the mayor to write, he only wrote about the corpses of the villagers and nothing about the two women. After recording, the mayor signed and put his handprint and seal on it. After the mayor went to do his work, Night Sorrow said, "Ninth senior sister, you asked the mayor to write this only to prove that the investigation mission is completed. There are still benefits for the two women? It's easy to deal with smart people. After you hand in this mission, ask if there are any follow-up missions. Ask if you need to kill the evildoer who absorbs Yang to replenish Yin. If you need to, take the heads and you can hand in the mission," Yang Lei said. "I understand what you mean. The problem is, how can we prove that the two heads belong to the murderer?" Night Sorrow asked, puzzled. "You can't be blamed for this because you can't see it." Just now, the two witches had just absorbed the essence blood and Yang Qi and had not refined it. The Yang Qi was rushing to the top. High-level cultivators can tell from the heads. Yang Lei explained to Night Sorrow. "So that's how it is. Then it's easy." Yi Shan gave Yang Lei a thumbs up. "Now you'd better pray that if there's a mission to kill witches, it's not higher than the bronze level. If it's a silver level mission, only I can earn points," Yang Lei said with a smile. Tianji Tower's system was very strict. Iron token holders could only take on iron level missions. Bronze token holders could only take on bronze level missions. On the other hand, high-level token holders could take on low-level missions. There's no difference whether you earn or I earn. The silver mission rewards are high, and you get more benefits, Night Sorrow said with a smile. "You're so open-minded. I don't know what delicious food they'll make for us." "Tianyu and the green condor haven't eaten yet," Yang Lei said. "Your green condor is easy. Tianyu likes to eat cooked food." Night Sorrow had already let Tianyu out and let Tianyu catch the prey by himself. Yang Lei also let the green condor out. On the other side, Night Sorrow had already wrapped the towel around his mouth and ran it up to his neck. The mayor brought the townspeople to prepare food for Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. It was very extravagant. Night Sorrow saw the sadness on the villagers' faces. He simply ate with Yang Lei and went to rest and cultivate. He didn't want to see the villagers' forced smiles. Who wouldn't feel sad when something happened to their family? After washing up early in the morning, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei rode Tianyu and the Green Condor to Danding City. Night Sorrow was looking forward to seeing if there was a follow-up to this mission. Chapter 156. The next day, they returned to Danding Peak. During breakfast, Yang Lei told Aoi about the mission with Night Sorrow. "Io, demonesses are rare these days. Looks like 13 eyes is quite lucky," Aoi said as she glanced at Night Sorrow. "Sixth senior sister, don't joke around." The scene was so creepy. "Those two women were like skeletons," Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile. Aoi smiled. "After you guys finish eating, go turn in the mission and see if there are any follow-up missions. If there aren't any, come back and rest." Night Sorrow nodded. He also planned to rest for 2 days because he needed to go into seclusion to level up. He had cultivated the myriad Daos tome to the peak of muscle strengthening 2nd level and was about to break through. His Jin Qi cultivation was very close to the peak of element gathering 5th level, and he could break through at any time. At Tianji Tower, Enforcer Dong was very happy to see Night Sorrow. He personally brewed tea for Night Sorrow and welcomed him. Normally, with his status, he didn't need to receive anyone. However, he felt that Night Sorrow had a lot of potential and was related to his young miss, so he was much more enthusiastic. Night Sorrow handed in the Ice Spring Water mission. Next was the investigation mission. There was no doubt about the Ice Spring Water mission. Night Sorrow told him about the investigation mission in Yundong Town. He also took out the mayor's certificate. Enforcer Dong looked at it and nodded. No problem. Looks like the situation is still very serious. We'll have to issue a follow-up mission later. Do I need to contact the person issuing the mission?" Night Sorrow asked. There's no need. The investigation mission was jointly issued by several towns near Yundong town. If we continue with the mission, they won't be able to offer any rewards. The next mission is a regional mission. The Empyrean Terminus Tower will issue the mission at the cost of high points. Those who accept the mission won't receive any substantial rewards, but they will receive high points, Enforcer Dong said. Then, Enforcer Dong, do you think I can accept it? Night Sorrow asked directly without hiding anything. This mission needs to be reported to the higher-ups. This mission is between bronze and silver. If you want to take it, I'll report it as bronze. But the points won't be low. Enforcer Dong explained to Night Sorrow. Alright, keep this quest for me, Night Sorrow said. I really have to hand it to you, alright? I will. I will also strive to get the mission to bronze rank, Enforcer Dong said as he looked at Night Sorrow with a knowing smile on his face. After chatting with Enforcer Dong for a while, Night Sorrow left. He did not accept any missions, as the remaining bronze missions were a waste of time. Besides, he still needed to make a breakthrough. After leaving Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei strolled around the streets. Danding City was much quieter. There were many disciples of the Golden Fire sect, but they were all well-behaved. S is the most new Q. Chapter 1, Chapter 2 Inch They won't behave unless they're beaten, Yang Lei said as she looked at the well-behaved disciples with disdain. Although they're well-behaved now, there's still a hidden danger. Our Medicine Valley won't allow the Golden Flame sect to meddle in this area. Similarly, the Golden Flame sect won't tolerate a spy in their territory. Yi Shang shared his opinion. Indeed, the problem will erupt sooner or later. But it won't be that easy, unless the Golden Fire sect is confident that they can destroy the Medicine Valley and resist the suppression of the other 6 superpowers, Yang Lei said. I hope the Golden Fire sect will stop before going too far. Night Sorrow nodded. Neither side could tolerate the current situation, and neither side wanted to fight. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei strolled around the city. Yang Lei bought some clothes, but it was Night Sorrow who paid for them. During this time, Yang Lei had been acting as Night Sorrow's nanny, and he felt bad about it. Yang Lei did not reject Night Sorrow's kindness and accepted it all. When he was about to go back, Night Sorrow saw 2 people. An old man was leading a young man. The young man's left arm was fixed with a jade splint, and his face was pale. Elder Qi, it's him. Kill him. The young man shouted when he saw Night Sorrow. The young man was none other than Zhan Peng, whose arm was chopped off by Night Sorrow, but his arm was now reattached. It seems like I didn't teach you a lesson. Last time, I told you not to provoke me. If you provoke me again, I'll take your life. Night Sorrow took the reincarnation spear from his back. How could he be polite when someone wanted to kill him? Young man, don't be too vicious. If you want to die, don't talk nonsense, the old man with a long beard said. What a joke. He said he wanted to kill me, and now you say I'm vicious? Be careful before you speak. Night Sorrow snorted coldly. You think I don't dare to kill you? She can't stop me. The old man looked at Yang Lei and said. I might not be able to stop you, but why don't you try touching him? If you dare to touch him, I'll make all the Golden Flame sect disciples in the Medicine Valley pay with their lives. Yang Lei waved her arm, and her green eagle flew up and circled in the sky. After being scolded by Yang Lei, the old man's face turned ugly. No one in the Golden Flame sect dared to talk to him like this. He wanted to attack, but he felt that it was not the right time. If he attacked today, the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley would definitely go to war. But if he just endured it, he would lose face. Yang Lei stood in front of Night Sorrow, and the energy in her body surged. She was ready to fight. She released the green eagle to show the Medicine Valley disciples. It would be enough if she could hold on for a while. Apologize. If you apologize, I won't make it difficult for you today. The old man looked at Yang Lei and said. He didn't want to fight, but he needed a way out. Apologize? You think too much. Today, it was the little trash beside you who said he wanted to kill people first. I'll accompany you in the Medicine Valley. Yang Lei said coldly. She would rather die than apologize. Yang Lei would never apologize. Are you forcing me to attack? The old man narrowed his eyes and said. Just as the old man was about to attack, people from the Medicine Valley arrived. It was Gong Xian. He was not far from this area, and when he saw the green eagle in the sky, he knew something was wrong. He asked Shi Tianlin to ask for help from the mayor's mansion, and then he flew over at full speed. Ninth junior sister, what's wrong? Senior brother, this old man wants to kill 13. Yang Lei said, and her eyes began to stare at the old man with a long beard. Those who have nothing to do with this, leave. Gong Xian took out his long sword. Someone wanted to kill Night Sorrow, and he didn't ask for the reason. Whether he could win or not, he had to fight. Seeing Gong Xian directly order people to leave and at the same time take out his weapon, the old man knew something was wrong. This Gong Xian had no intention of being reasonable and negotiating. When the onlookers left, Gong Xian directly attacked. He waved the long sword in his hand, and a sword aura slashed fiercely at the old man. If he wanted to fight, he would fight. Even if he couldn't win, he still had to fight. This was the blood and vigor of the Taishan Peak. Chapter 157. The old man took out his saber and fought with Gong Xian and Yang Lei. The old man was Qi Tiancheng of the Golden Flame sect, so he understood the heaven-covering hand very well. Therefore, his body flashed and avoided Yang Lei, avoiding the battle between Yang Lei and Gong Xian. After a few head-on clashes, Gong Xian was always at a disadvantage and was forced to retreat every time. The three of them moved around and fought on the street. Saber Qi and Sword Qi slashed large holes in the buildings on both sides of the street. When Gong Xian and Yang Lei fought, Night Sorrow also made his move. He brandished his reincarnation spear and attacked Zhang Peng. If you want to kill me, I'll kill you first. Seeing Night Sorrow attacking, a long sword appeared in Zhang Peng's right hand and he stabbed it towards Night Sorrow's chest. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear didn't change its momentum and continued to stab forward. At the same time, his true qi exploded and vibrating energy was poured into the spear. An inch longer was an inch stronger. If both of them didn't change their moves, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear would definitely pierce Zhang Peng's chest first. With a low roar, Zhang Peng swung the long sword in his right hand towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear while simultaneously dodging. Ding! When the weapons met, the reincarnation spear vibrated and stretched out Zhang Peng's long sword while continuing to stab forward. Zhang Peng quickly retreated to avoid Night Sorrow's attack. Now that his middle gate was open, he couldn't counterattack even if he wanted to. Night Sorrow stomped his foot, causing stone fragments to fly. He quickly rushed forward and caught up with Zhang Peng. The reincarnation spear fiercely slashed towards Zhang Peng's chest. Zhang Peng's expression changed greatly. He tilted his body to the right to dodge. He dodged very quickly and also avoided his vital organs. However, the result was the same as last time. His left arm didn't manage to dodge. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear flicked up and down, chopping off his entire left arm. After chopping off Zhang Peng's left arm, Night Sorrow followed up and kicked Zhang Peng's abdomen, causing him to fly several zhang away and disperse his true qi. After injuring Zhang Peng, Night Sorrow continued to charge forward and slashed his reincarnation spear at Zhang Peng. Stop! Qi Tiancheng was anxious. How could he watch as Zhang Peng was killed? Zhang Peng was the descendant of an important figure in the Golden Flame sect. He ignored the pursuit of Gong Xian and Yang Lei and rushed towards Night Sorrow. At this moment, Night Sorrow was facing a test. He could kill Zhang Peng first, but he couldn't dodge Qi Tiancheng's fatal attack. In a split second, Night Sorrow executed the dragon leap steps and flashed in front of Zhang Peng. He grabbed Zhang Peng with his left hand and placed the reincarnation spear's blade on Zhang Peng's neck with his right hand. After that, he turned around to face Qi Tiancheng. After doing all this, Qi Tiancheng was only 10 feet away from Night Sorrow. However, he didn't dare to move forward. The result of moving forward was that Night Sorrow would slaughter Zhang Peng. Come. Continue to come over and try it. Night Sorrow exerted force with his right hand and the reincarnation spear's blade cut into Zhang Peng's neck. Traces of blood flowed along the reincarnation spear's blade. Qi Tiancheng didn't move. He knew that Night Sorrow wasn't bluffing. He really wanted to kill Zhang Peng. Seeing that Qi Tiancheng didn't move, Night Sorrow carried Zhang Peng with his left hand and retreated to Gong Xian and Yang Lei's side. Qi Tiancheng, you're so mighty. Yu Yangyu appeared with 2 elders behind him. Night Sorrow knew one of them. He was the peak master of the North Pole Peak, Yen Beidu. The other one was the peak master of the Drifting Cloud Peak, whom Night Sorrow had met during the sect competition. Is he as mighty as your Medicine Valley? You directly attacked my Golden Flame sect's member. It seems like you really want to break off relations with me. Qi Tiancheng looked at Yu Yangyu and said. Yang Lei, what's going on? Yu Yangyu looked at Yang Lei and asked. Although Zhang Peng was in Night Sorrow's hands, it wasn't convincing to ask Night Sorrow. After all, Night Sorrow was still young. Slap. Yang Lei stretched out her hand and slapped Zhang Peng. I was shopping with 13th junior brother. It was him. He shouted at this shameless old man that he was going to kill 13th junior brother. Then, he attacked. Then what's the point of keeping him alive? 13th junior brother, kill him. Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow directly. Night Sorrow didn't reply verbally. He directly pulled out his reincarnation spear and cut Zhang Peng's throat. Yu Yangyu didn't look at Qi Tiancheng and directly taught his disciple in front of countless people. 13th junior brother, remember one thing. If anyone wants to kill you, kill them back. If they want to kill you, what else do you have to worry about? Yu Yangyu, is this a declaration of war? Qi Tiancheng's face was livid. He pointed at Yu Yangyu and questioned him. Qi Tiancheng, what's the big deal about your Golden Flame sect's disciple yelling that he wanted to kill my Medicine Valley's disciple? What's the big deal about the Golden Flame sect's disciple flaunting his strength in Danding City? You have already declared war. What's the point of declaring war? Didn't you do the same thing? Yu Yangyu said coldly. There's a misunderstanding, Qi Tiancheng said. Now, let me tell you the Medicine Valley's attitude. We admit that the Medicine Valley is a subsidiary force of the Golden Flame sect. However, the Golden Flame sect's force is not allowed to interfere in any area of the Medicine Valley. 7 days. I'll give you 7 days. If the Golden Flame sect's disciple is still active in Danding City, the Medicine Valley will expel him. This time is enough for you to ask for instructions and report. We won't make things difficult for you, Yan Beibei said coldly. Expel. Qi Tiancheng, you know that as long as you resist, the Medicine Valley will kill you on the spot. Even if blood flows like a river, we won't give up the foundation left by our ancestors, Yu Yangyu said firmly. Men, take the corpse away. Qi Tiancheng couldn't vent his anger. He directly shouted at the Golden Flame sect's disciple who was rushing over. Qi Tiancheng was helpless now. He couldn't win if he wanted to fight. He could only report it to the Golden Flame sect. Be careful. Looking at Night Sorrow, Yu Yangyu said and left. Among his disciples, only Night Sorrow didn't have the ability to protect himself. Good job. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Thank you, 9th senior sister. Thank you, eldest senior brother. Night Sorrow nodded to Yang Lei and bowed to Gong Xian. If Night Sorrow was close to Aoi and Yang Lei, then he was respectful to Gong Xian. Translator, Zephizi editor, Dioquin, eldest senior brother was scared to death just now. That guy went crazy and insisted on killing you. We couldn't stop him. Fortunately, you reacted quickly and captured the unlucky guy. Otherwise, we would have been in a passive position. Gong Xian was also a little scared. If Night Sorrow was a little slower, the situation wouldn't be optimistic. Night Sorrow's cultivation was at the second stage. In front of Qi Tiancheng, he was like a porcelain doll that would break at the slightest touch. Senior brothers, you're all here. Night Sorrow saw that almost all of his senior brothers were here. Wu Qi, Hua Nan, Huang'an, Lu Peng, Zhou Zheng, Tao Yuan, Mo Chen, and Shi Tianlin had all arrived. Shi Tianlin was following Gong Xian's arrangement to report to the city lord mansion. However, he wasn't as fast as Yu Yangyu and Yan Beibei. At this time, except for Aoi who was in the Longquan courtyard, all of Yu Yangyu's disciples had arrived. Chapter 158. He's from the other side, Yang Lei said. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Mo Chen's murderous intent subsided. Since all the senior brothers and sisters were here, Wu Qi suggested that they gather together. Everyone agreed. Gong Xian said goodbye to Chu Lingxiao and Yi Shuai. They were both members of the patrol team, so he had to inform them before leaving. Let's go. The next 2 days should be peaceful. If we want to fight, it'll be in a few days. I like this feeling. If we fight, let's fight to our heart's content. Chu Lingxiao said. At this moment, he was no longer gentle and refined. Instead, he was a hot-blooded warrior. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei went to buy some good wine before the group set off for the Dragon Spring courtyard. Aoi was surprised to see her senior and junior brothers. What's the occasion today? It's not a special occasion. We're just gathering when we run into each other, Gong Xian said with a smile. Aoi asked Hai Luo and Luo Wei to prepare some dishes, then led everyone to the garden to make tea. Everyone, prepare for battle. Ever since 13 killed that guy, the situation has been out of our control, Gong Xian said. What happened? 13 killed someone? Aoi looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Master ordered him to do it. The Medicine Valley should be fully prepared for battle. Next, we'll see what the Golden Flame sect does. However, the possibility of a decisive battle isn't high because I received news that the Southern Dipper sect has attacked the Golden Flame sect. They've started an all-out war at the front line of the Green Cloud Mountain Range. If the Golden Flame sect fights us to the death, it'll make things worse for them. They might even be removed from the 7 superpowers, Gong Xian said. That's good. I heard that the Southern Dipper sect is stronger than the Golden Flame sect. The Golden Flame sect has no reason to provoke the Southern Dipper sect. Did they really eat too much? Aoi said. Everyone was familiar with the situation in the Eastern Xian domain. The Southern Dipper sect had a long history, even longer than the Golden Flame sect. They controlled an area of millions of square kilometers. The other 7 superpowers were very restrained. There would be small-scale conflicts, but they would not escalate the situation. My master told me about it. It seems that the grandson of the vice sect master of the Golden Flame sect met the young miss of the Southern Dipper sect when he was training in the Green Cloud Mountain Range. He then flirted with the young miss of the Southern Dipper sect and was crippled. As a result, a conflict broke out. Do you think the Southern Dipper sect will tolerate this? They declared war directly, Gong Xian explained to everyone. The Southern Dipper sect is really something. The people of the Golden Flame sect are too despicable. They have to beat them up, Yang Lei said. While they were chatting, Hai Luo, Luo Wei, and the other girls served the dishes. 13, where did all these beauties come from? Your senior brothers are all single. Tao Yuan said with a smile. Aoi then told him about Night Sorrow's quest to save the girls. Not bad. You have a bright future ahead of you, Tao Yuan said as he patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Don't talk nonsense. 13 might have someone he likes. Yang Lei glared at Tao Yuan. When the dishes were served, Night Sorrow began to set the table. He had bought a lot of good wine today, and he also took out 2 jugs of Bamboo Garden Village's Uncle Nyo's wine. He really did not have any left. While they were chatting, little Six came in with an old man. "Chief Steward Su, what brings you here?" Gong Xian greeted him. Su Zhonglin was the chief steward of the outer disciples of the Taishan Peak. Yu Yangyu didn't have any outer disciples, but he still had other elders. He still needed the chief steward to manage the odd job disciples and the business of the Taishan Peak. "It's like this. A caravan came from South Sky City. They have 13's goods, so I sent them over," Su Zhonglin said. Su Zhonglin was the chief steward of the outer sect, and his status was equal to the second-generation disciples. So he could directly address Night Sorrow by name. "Then let's go and see what goods they have." Mo Chen was interested. "It's wine." The South Sky City Chamber of Commerce put it in a storage belt and sent it over. Su Zhonglin took out 3 storage belts and handed them to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took the storage belt and took out the wine. He placed it on the side of the garden. There were more than 30 jugs and a few sets of linen robes. After returning the storage belt to Su Zhonglin, Night Sorrow touched the linen robes. His eyes were a little wet. He recognized that the robes were made by Auntie Lin. He had worn Auntie Lin's clothes since he was young, so it felt familiar to him. The people from the Chamber of Commerce also brought a message. They said that Zhuyuan Town's construction is very good, so you don't have to worry. "You can go back and take a look if you have time," Su Zhonglin said. "Thank you, Chief Steward Su. Please sit down and drink." Night Sorrow put the robes into his storage ring and cupped his hands towards Su Zhonglin. "I really can't. I still have a lot of things to take care of. Taishan Peak is preparing for war. I have to go to the various medicine shops. Next time we will drink together." Su Zhonglin cupped his hands towards everyone and left. "Wanli came to deliver wine for you. This wine is very expensive, so the transportation cost won't be low," Wu Qi said. "Last time, 13 had people bring back some gold notes. The people of Zhuyuan Town have no problem living." Yang Lei shook her head. She knew that Night Sorrow brought back a lot of gold notes. It was enough to build several Zhuyuan towns. Old 8. "What are you doing?" Aoi shouted at Shi Tianlin, who was secretly moving the wine. I was worried that 13 would become an alcoholic and delay his cultivation. I just wanted to help him get rid of some of it," Shi Tianlin said embarrassedly. "Old 8, you are too disloyal. It is better for everyone to share." Night Sorrow's 7th senior brother, Zhou Zheng, reprimanded Shi Tianlin. Let's share it," Night Sorrow said. "Old 7, old 8, you two are too shameless. You want to share it? That wine was delivered from Wanli, and you want to share it? Each of you can only take 1 jar. If you take more, I will chop off your hands." Aoi glared at the 2 of them. Shi Tianlin was a little depressed as he took a jar. Everyone else also took a jar. Gong Xian was no exception. This was the atmosphere among the disciples of Taishan Peak. Everyone would fight for ordinary things. However, if it was expensive, no one would fight for it. Their relationship was no different from that of brothers and sisters. "Come, drink. Let's get this done quickly. Don't let Chu Ling Xiao and Yi Shui busy themselves in Danding City. They won't be able to cope." Gong Xian opened the jar and began to drink and eat. Forever. Forever exempt from looking at 8 small. "Speak. Senior brother, when you leave, bring 2 jars to master." Although they are not good wine, Night Sorrow said to Gong Xian. "Okay, I will bring them over after we finish eating." Gong Xian nodded. He admired Night Sorrow's attitude. The wine was not good, but it was filial. Chapter 159. You all know the situation. The Valley Master has been in seclusion to seek a breakthrough. This time, the Supreme Elder and I want Yang Yu to preside over this matter. Do you all understand? The Great Elder knocked his walking stick on the ground and said, I may be estranged from Peak Master Lu on other matters, but when it comes to the interests of the sect, I will obey him unconditionally. Yuan Tai, the Peak Master of Wangyun Peak, stood up and declared. Greenstone Peak has no problem either. Dai Tongnian also stood up. The other Peak Masters also expressed their support. Except for Su Chenbai of Ninein Peak, who was still a little squeaky, the others were all united. While Su Chenbai was squeaking, Qian Wu directly smashed the armrest of his chair. If Grand Elder hadn't stopped him, he might have exploded on the spot. In the past, Qian Wu supported Su Chenbai, but that was a normal competition. A sect without competition would be a stagnant pool and would be eliminated. However, this didn't mean that he would tolerate Su Chenbai's inaction when the sect was in danger. Next was the mobilization of the Medicine Valley's manpower. Yang arranged the main forces of the 8 peaks to guard the city gates. In other words, every 2 peaks would guard an area near one gate of Danding City. The remaining 4 peaks, Taishan Peak, North Pole, Danding Peak, and Wuwei Peak, continued to patrol Danding City. As for the areas of influence in other cities, the sect elders and protectors had already taken care of them. This was arranged by Grand Elder. Currently, the Medicine Valley's outer forces were under Grand Elder's control. Yang Yu was in charge of Danding City's area. If a war broke out, the Medicine Valley's most important areas to defend were Danding City and Danding Mountain. If these 2 areas were not lost, they could still fight back. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to take over the Medicine Valley, it would be useless to take over the scattered areas. Danding City and Danding Mountain were the key areas. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to take over these 2 areas, they would have to mobilize most of their forces. In this case, it would be hard to say whether they would be attacked by other forces. This was also the reason why the Medicine Valley was not afraid. They had the courage to fight a bloody battle. With the current situation of the Golden Flame sect, the Medicine Valley felt that they would not lose. After the arrangements were made, all the peaks went to work. All the elders also left, but the Great Elder left behind Yang Yu, as well as the Peak Masters of the Cloud Sea Peak and the North Pole Peak. According to the arrangement, Duan Lei, your Cloud Sea Peak and Ninein Peak will guard the south gate. Be more vigilant. A strong fortress is not easy to break from the outside, but it is easy to break from the inside, the Great Elder said. This Duan Lei understands. Duan Lei hesitated for a moment before bowing to the Great Elder. North Pole, pay more attention to the south gate when you're patrolling. The Great Elder said to Yen North Pole and sent the 2 away. Only the Great Elder and Yang Yu were left in the hall. According to the news from the Golden Flame sect, one of the 11 Peak Masters in our Medicine Valley is a member of the Golden Flame sect, and he is a direct descendant of the Golden Flame sect's top management. He has been sent here since he was young. I've made some calculations and initially thought that Jin Kan and Su Chenbai were the most likely suspects. After a few years of investigation, Jin Kan has been ruled out as a suspect, the Great Elder said. So it's Su Chenbai? Yang Yu said angrily. It's almost confirmed. But we don't need to pay attention to him for now. It's a pity that the Second Elder has cultivated him, the Great Elder said with a sigh. Does the Second Elder know? Yang Yu understood that this was definitely a blow to the Second Elder. The Second Elder, Qian Wu, had a violent and upright personality. Now that he had a traitor disciple, once he knew, it would be hard for him to accept it. Yes, I know. If you didn't stop him, he would have killed Su Chenbai. He was holding back just now. The Great Elder nodded. Although we had some conflicts in the past, I didn't expect this to happen. Yang Yu was also shocked. This is the seed that the Golden Flame sect planted in the Medicine Valley. If you didn't stand in front of him and he really took the position, you can imagine the situation in the Medicine Valley, the Great Elder said with some lingering fear. Now there was a consensus in the Medicine Valley that the future Valley Master would be Yu Yangyu. This could be seen from the fact that the crisis in the Medicine Valley this time was led by Yu Yangyu. The Valley Master of the Medicine Valley, Hua Yunpeng, was originally the Valley Master of the Wuwei Peak. When the old Valley Master stepped down, Hua Yunpeng took over from the Wuwei Peak to the Danding Peak. The motto of the Wuwei Peak was to not fight and pursue the concept of inaction. Therefore, after Hua Yunpeng took over, he didn't manage the affairs of the sect and had been pursuing his own breakthrough. Otherwise, the Great Elder wouldn't be so busy and would have entered the worship pagoda to cultivate. Then we should keep him for now. Keep this root of trouble? Yu Yangyu said with a frown. Keep him for now. He has his uses. After all, there are some messages that we need him to deliver. For example, this time, the Medicine Valley will fight to the death. If the Golden Flame sect knows about it, will they dare to act rashly? The Great Elder said with a smile. Yu Yangyu nodded. In the Eastern Profound Domain, or even the entire 9 regions and 18 states, if a big force wanted to annex a small force, they often relied on deterrence rather than fighting to the death. In a real fight, even if they carried out the annexation, the losses would be great and the gains would not make up for the losses. At present, the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley were in the same situation. Great Elder, there is another problem. The 12 peaks are the distribution of the main forces of the Medicine Valley. They are also the places where we cultivate talents. If Su Qinbai, this malignant tumor, is not removed, then won't the 9 peak be ruined? Yu Yangyu didn't want to see the Medicine Valley's strength fall. This problem needs to be solved. He is a member of the Golden Flame sect. Only his true confidants will know. The other disciples of the 9 peak won't know. At present, there are only a few people who have been corrupted by him. When this problem is solved, we will transfer him away from the 9 peak and find a suitable replacement. The Great Elder explained his plan. Only one true edition hashtag, the others are all Pirate Plus edition hashtag, Yangyu understands. The Medicine Valley needs time. At present, the Southern Dipper sect is holding back the Medicine Valley. But what about later? When the Golden Flame sect resolves the conflict with the Southern Dipper sect, they will still come back to target us. Yu Yangyu wasn't worried about the current situation, but he was worried about the future. You are right. However, 2 of the Great Elders have gone to the Southern Dipper sect. One of them is acquainted with a senior member of the Southern Dipper sect and has a relationship with him. The other one helped the vice sect master of the Southern Dipper sect refine elixirs in the past. As a favor, I hope the Southern Dipper sect can hold back the Golden Flame sect from behind when they attack us. The Great Elder said. I see. I hope it will go smoothly. Yu Yangyu sighed. Why did he ask for help? It was because the Medicine Valley wasn't strong enough. In the past, they didn't have the Holy Cauldron scripture. Too many people were stuck at a bottleneck and couldn't break through. Now that the Holy Cauldron scripture had been found, the Medicine Valley needed time. With time, they wouldn't have to be afraid of the Golden Flame sect's provocation. Chapter 160. Hua Yunpeng had already decided to abdicate. The only reason he had been holding on to the position for the past few years was because there hadn't been a suitable candidate. Then what does Grand Elder think? Yu Yangyu pondered for a moment before asking. Tell me your opinion first. The Grand Elder smiled. This could be considered a test for Yu Yangyu. If we're talking about seniority and prestige, the elders would naturally be the best choice. But the elders are already very old. If they were to manage a peak, they would be too lifeless. It wouldn't be suitable. Yu Yangyu only spoke half of his opinion. Your opinion is very good. There are no problems. Once the situation stabilizes, we'll make arrangements for this. I'm also tired. The Valley Master's ability is great, but his heart isn't on this. The Grand Elder stood up. In the Dragon Spring Monastery, after drinking some wine, Night Sorrow greeted Yang Lei and Aoi before going into seclusion to attack the third level of muscle strengthening. Gong Xian and the others had already gone to Danding City to patrol. Yang Lei didn't go because of Yu Yang Yu's instructions. Breaking through to the third level of muscle strengthening wasn't difficult for Night Sorrow at all. All he had to do was strengthen the tendons in his legs. With the leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill as a backup, it took him less than 4 hours to complete. Whether it was in the blood refining realm or the muscle strengthening realm, strengthening the tendons in the legs was the easiest. Over the next 2 days, Night Sorrow used this time to stabilize his cultivation base. After stabilizing his cultivation base, Night Sorrow greeted Yang Lei and Aoi before going to Tianji Tower. 3 days had already passed. He wanted to go ask Law Enforcer Dong about Yundong Town's follow-up mission. Hearing that Night Sorrow was going to Danding City, Yang Lei didn't allow Night Sorrow to refuse and followed along. Hashtag 2P Permanent H-free/K read novels. 9 Now, Night Sorrow was the treasure of Taishan Peak as well as the face of Medicine Valley. If Night Sorrow was killed or injured by the disciples of Golden Flame sect, Medicine Valley would lose face. After passing through layers of blockades set up by the disciples of the Medicine Valley, the two entered Danding City. They took a beast carriage and arrived at Tianji Tower. After asking the service staff to inform him, Night Sorrow waited for Enforcer Dong. After Enforcer Dong appeared, he brought Night Sorrow into the private room. Yang Lei sat in the hall, drinking tea and waiting. She knew that Enforcer Dong had a good relationship with Night Sorrow, and she also knew about the relationship between Enforcer Dong and Sikong Chuyu. In the private room, Enforcer Dong took out the mission list. This time, it's not bad. The mission I submitted is a special bronze mission. It's a team mission. Of course, you can also accept it alone. Otherwise, it would be a silver mission. Night Sorrow took a look and was stunned. The mission points for killing the witch were 5 times more than the investigation mission. How is it? Although there are no gold notes or resources, the points are very high. It's better than the average silver mission, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. Then I'll accept it, Night Sorrow said. Are you planning to submit it later? Looking at Night Sorrow, Enforcer Dong asked with a smile. I'll submit it now. Night Sorrow took out the storage belt with the heads of the 2 witches and handed it to Enforcer Dong. Based on your character, I knew you wouldn't keep the 2 witches alive. Tell me, how did you kill them? Enforcer Dong asked while looking at the heads. My method this time was not honorable. Their cultivation was too high, and I couldn't kill them. So, I used a poisonous grass to make them unable to fight back, Night Sorrow said. That's right. They did absorb the yang energy but didn't refine it. This mission is complete. I'll exchange it for points for you. Looking at the heads, Enforcer Dong took Night Sorrow's mission plate to register. In this mission, Enforcer Dong personally recorded the mission's handover record. It was no different from Night Sorrow's handover record. As for how Night Sorrow completed the mission, Enforcer Dong remembered it clearly. Not bad. You have half of the bronze points. At this speed, it shouldn't take long for you to advance to the silver token. Unfortunately, the Medicine Valley is in troubled times now, Enforcer Dong sighed. He felt sorry for Night Sorrow. If Night Sorrow was born in a big family, he would definitely be a master who could use heaven and earth treasures at will. He would be an absolute member of the family. They can do whatever they want. I'll cultivate and do my missions. If the war starts, it won't be too late for me to join the battle. However, my cultivation is useless. Night Sorrow laughed self-deprecatingly. Indeed, in a battle between 2 forces, Yuan gathering stage cultivators were not even considered cannon fodder. Since you've decided, come and take a look when you have time. If you find a suitable mission, it'll be good for you to advance to the silver token earlier. You can also exchange the points for resources, Enforcer Dong said with a smile. He didn't go into too much detail. He knew very well that advancing to the silver token earlier would greatly benefit Night Sorrow's accumulation of experience in Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow bowed to Enforcer Dong and left the private room with Yang Lei. He didn't even take the siren's storage belt. Looks like it went very well. It's good to have connections, Yang Lei said. It went very well. I accepted the mission and handed it in directly. I got a lot of points. Plus, I've worked hard to complete the missions during this period. My points are more than half of the bronze token now, Night Sorrow said. Advance to the silver token as soon as possible and advance to the core condensation stage. This way, Tianji Tower will pay more attention to you. For example, Enforcer Dong will hand over the information about your mission to the headquarters. He won't hide anything, Yang Lei said. I'll work hard. This Tianji Tower is really powerful. Night Sorrow was indeed in awe of Tianji Tower. Even someone as arrogant as Zhang Peng from the Golden Flame sect didn't dare to cause trouble in Tianji Tower. Yes, everything that happened to you, including killing Zhang Peng, will be reported by Tianji Tower. Purple attention is very important to Tianji Tower. Senior sister, let's go to the City Lord's mansion to see Master. Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. Okay, you have wine with you. Let's buy some food, Yang Lei nodded and said. In the City Lord's mansion's hall, Night Sorrow saw Yu Yang Yu and Qian Wu. The two were looking at the map of Danding City. 13, you are here. Come and greet the second elder. Yu Yang Yu greeted Night Sorrow. Disciple Night Sorrow greets the second elder. Night Sorrow bowed to Qian Wu. Good, very good. I saw your performance in the sect tournament. You are indeed very good. To be honest, you are the most outstanding talent in Medicine Valley in hundreds of years. Qian Wu said with a smile. Thank you for your praise, second elder. Master, you've been busy all day. Disciple and ninth senior sister have brought some food and wine. Master and second elder, please have some. Yi Shang took out the food he had bought from the restaurant and the wine from his storage ring. Okay, how is your cultivation going? Yu Yang Yu asked the second elder after inviting him to sit down. Everything is going well. Night Sorrow nodded. That's good. Danding City is a bit chaotic. Don't run around. Yu Yang Yu said while drinking. Chapter 161. Why can't we go there? Night Sorrow didn't understand, so he asked. Don't ask. Just do as the second elder says. Yu Yang Yu didn't let Night Sorrow continue asking. Su Chenbai's matter was a pain in Qian Wu's heart. At the same time, it was also a secret of the Medicine Valley. After Yu Yang Yu explained, Night Sorrow nodded and didn't ask further. Come, you two sit down and have a drink. This wine is really strong. Qian Wu waved at Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei also sat down. However, Yang Lei didn't say anything. She had a problem with Qian Wu because Su Chenbai and Su Mu were both Qian Wu's disciples. Ninth brother, let me tell you something. Competition within the sect is a good thing. It can make the members of the sect full of fighting spirit. This is also the reason why the second elder didn't stop some things, so you have to weigh it in your heart. Yu Yang Yu could see that Yang Lei had some opinions about Qian Wu. Yang Yu, your thoughts are the same as mine. However, some things have deviated from the right track. This is indeed my dereliction of duty as an elder. Qian Wu laughed at himself and drank a bowl full of wine. Second elder, some things are unpredictable. Yu Yang Yu tried to persuade him. Yang Lei and Night Sorrow didn't interrupt. They both felt that there were some things that they didn't know. After drinking 2 bowls of wine, the two of them took their leave. Ninth senior sister, did something happen? I feel like the second elder is blaming himself, Night Sorrow said. Maybe. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said something like dereliction of duty. Let's not ask about these things. After all, it involves the reputation of the sect's elders. If he knows he's wrong, then let's forget about it. Otherwise, we won't give him any face. Yang Lei muttered. Sitting in the beast carriage, the two left Danding City and returned to the Dragon Spring courtyard. 6th Senior Sister, 9th Senior Sister, can I continue to use the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid to cultivate? Night Sorrow asked. Back then, when Night Sorrow had obtained the heaven-grade treatment, the Medicine Valley had given him 2 drops of medicine cauldron spirit liquid. During the sect tournament, Night Sorrow had used 1 drop, so there was still 1 drop left. Sure. With your current status as the top of the Yuan ranking and the treatment of a heaven-ranked disciple, you can get 2 drops every year. It's suitable for you to use it now to strengthen your foundation, Aoi said to Night Sorrow. After listening to Aoi's explanation, Night Sorrow nodded and returned to his room. He urgently needed to increase his strength. Although no one said it, Night Sorrow knew that he was a burden to Taishan Peak and needed someone to protect him. In addition, he also hoped that he could reach rank 4 as soon as possible so that he could go to the Qingtian region. The faster his cultivation increased, the more likely he would be recruited by the Tianji Tower. At that time, it would be easier for him to go to the Qingtian region. After returning to his room, Night Sorrow ate the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid and began cultivating. He did not use the supreme grade soul gathering pill or leopard embryo tendon strengthening pill. Although the energy contained in the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid was different from the soul gathering pill and soul increasing pill, it could not provide an endless supply of energy. However, the energy contained in the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid was not small and was enough for him to absorb for a few days. Night Sorrow cultivated for 2 days until he completely absorbed the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid. On the 2nd day of cultivation, Night Sorrow's chi could no longer increase. He had reached the bottleneck of chi gathering level 4. Later on, he cultivated the myriad Dao treasured tome. After changing into a linen robe made by Auntie Lin, Night Sorrow left his room. In the hall on the 1st floor, Night Sorrow saw the silver fox cub. A few days ago, Night Sorrow had left the silver fox cub in the care of Aoi and Hai Luo, so he did not take care of it. When it saw Night Sorrow, the silver fox cub directly jumped onto Night Sorrow's shoulder. 9th Junior Sister, did you see that? This is a plaything that is not mature. I took care of it for a few days, but it ignored me. Now that 13 is here, it immediately went over to me. Aoi said somewhat gloomily. Hehe, this matter is really hard to explain. It's just like a relationship between a man and a woman. You take the initiative to like someone, but they might not necessarily like you back. Yang Lei said. A relationship between a man and a woman? It's like you know more than me. Aoi laughed. She and Yang Lei were about the same age, and they had been in the sect for about the same time. She was very clear about Yang Lei's situation. She had never come into contact with a man outside of the Taishan Peak. Night Sorrow brought the silver fox cub to the garden of the other courtyard. He combed the feathers of the resting Tianyu, and then casually strolled around the courtyard. He wanted to relax and then continue to break through. He cultivated the myriad Dao treasured tome and the sacred cauldron scripture, so he broke through twice as many levels as others. The effort he put in was also the same. Fortunately, he could cultivate both at the same time, so it was not a waste of time. After strolling around, Night Sorrow arrived at the attic where Sikong Chuyu lived. After taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow walked in. The attic was very clean. Hai Luo, Luo Wei, and the others came to clean it every day, but the original furnishings had not changed at all. Night Sorrow stayed in Sikong Chuyu's attic for a while, and only left when it was time for lunch. At noon, he did not practice with Yang Lei. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his room and began to break through. Night Sorrow had broken through a few times in the Yuan gathering tier, so he was very familiar with it. He had accumulated enough true qi, and it was also very solid. Breaking through was done by sleeping. The advancement of the sacred cauldron scripture was much easier than that of the myriad Dao treasured tome. It was just the condensation of true qi. However, every advancement of the myriad Dao treasured tome was very painful. It was as if the body had to be dismantled and reassembled. With the example of the pain of the advancement of the myriad Tao treasured tome, the advancement of true Qi was not a problem for Night Sorrow. He successfully broke through to the 5th level of Yuan gathering tier in 4 hours. After the advancement, he ate a leopard embryo muscle strengthening pill and cultivated the myriad Tao treasured tome while stabilizing his battle Qi. 6th senior sister, 13, is a little bastard. He has no concept of time when he cultivates. He won't eat breakfast with us. He has advanced. While muttering, Yang Lei casually probed and found that Night Sorrow's Qi had changed. It was the Qi of the 5th level of Yuan gathering tier. What else is there to say? His advancement speed is fast, and his foundation is solid. We can't compare to him, Aoi said with a smile. Indeed, it's not good to be unconvinced. When others stabilize their cultivation, it will delay their cultivation speed. With the cultivation speed, there will be the drawbacks of cultivation speed. Now, he has both a fast advancement speed and a solid foundation, Yang Lei said as she looked at the stairs leading to Night Sorrow's room. This is the tragedy of the Medicine Valley's newcomers. Think about it, in this year's Battle of the Newcomers, other than Sumu, 13 swept away everyone else. Next year, Sumu will be even worse. Which newcomer can contend against 13? That would require the strength of the first place on the Yuan ranking. Unless there is a guy in the peak of Yuan gathering tier participating in the disciple recruitment ceremony, Aoi said with a smile. Chapter 162. During the sect assembly, the higher-ups of Medicine Valley announced that everyone who joined the sect for 3 years would be considered as newcomers and could participate in the newcomer competition. This was mainly to increase the competitive atmosphere. Although there were drawbacks and it was difficult for newcomers to stand out, outstanding newcomers would still have a chance after 1 or 2 years. Just as the two were chatting, Night Sorrow appeared. Are the 2 senior sisters here? Yes. You broke through without a sound. Your speed is amazing, Aoi said. Let's go and eat. I'm hungry, Night Sorrow said while rubbing his stomach. Aoi nodded. The 3 of them went to the cafeteria. Nangong Dai, Chu Ning, and the rest were all there. Chu Ning and Tang Tian each grabbed one end of the elbow and refused to let go. Nangong Dai was trying to calm them down. Good for you. You guys continue to fight. Pretend we don't exist. Yang Lei waved her hand and sat down with Aoi and Night Sorrow. Chujiu, are you going to let go? Tang Tian shouted. Although you're the senior brother, you can't bully others. I took it first. Chu Ning refused to let go. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Aoi were eating while watching. You guys continue to fight over this elbow. You guys didn't delay your training time, right? Don't sleep tonight. Make up for the lost time. Yang Lei drank a mouthful of soup and said slowly. Chu Ning, you tricked me. Tang Tian let go. Chu Ning's face turned blue. This was bad luck. Ignoring them, Yi Shang and the other 2 left the loft after finishing their meal. Practice for a while? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and asked. No, I want to rest for a while and drink some tea. You don't cherish yourself, but I do. Yang Lei sat on the deck chair in the garden and said. Night Sorrow smiled and sat down. He teased the silver fox cub that ran to his feet. That traitor, I bathe it every day, but it's not close to me, Aoi complained. It's mainly because when it first met Night Sorrow, it felt Night Sorrow's kindness. It's already deeply rooted in its heart, Yang Lei said. This was just like humans. Normally, they might not remember who treated them to fish and meat, but when they were hungry, they would remember who gave them a steamed bun. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei began to practice. The sparring session this time was much more intense than before. Night Sorrow's physical strength had increased a lot, and the strength of his hands and feet had also increased. In addition to strength, Night Sorrow's true Qi was also much stronger than before. Night Sorrow still controlled the vibration force at 42 waves. He had just advanced and hadn't tried to increase the number of waves yet. Even if he did, he wasn't familiar with it. There were many times when Yishan took the initiative to attack, and Yang Lei also counterattacked whenever she saw an opening. She controlled her cultivation base, limiting it to the middle and early stage of the third stage. Any higher, and Yishan wouldn't be able to hold on. After half an hour, Night Sorrow couldn't hold on any longer and stopped to rest. Yang Lei was also tired and sat down to drink tea. Aoi had nothing to do, so she began to train Chu Ning and the others. During the break, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei talked for a while and decided to go out and see what the Golden Flame sect's reaction was. Today was the deadline of 7 days. If the Golden Flame sect didn't retreat, the Medicine Valley would expel them. What did that mean? It meant a declaration of war. In other words, if the Golden Flame sect didn't retreat today, the Medicine Valley would take action. If the Medicine Valley took action, the Golden Flame sect wouldn't be able to stand it. The two forces would fight next. Because it was close, Night Sorrow didn't let Tianyu out. He and Yang Lei rode the Blue Eagle to Danding City. The atmosphere in Danding City today was different from usual. It used to be tense, but today was different. All the disciples of the Medicine Valley had unsheathed their weapons and were full of fighting spirit. Everyone knew that if the Golden Flame sect disciples didn't retreat from the Medicine Valley, the battle would start. Night Sorrow and Aoi rode the beast carriage to the mayor's mansion. Although they were in a hurry, they couldn't ride the flying beasts. There were crossbows on the high-rise buildings in Danding City. They were used to kill flying beasts and were also strategic weapons in war. At this time, the city guards were no longer guarding the crossbows. The elite disciples of the Medicine Valley were there. As long as a flying beast appeared, they would kill it without warning. At the gate of the mayor's mansion, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei saw the head elder, the second elder, and Yu Yang. Greetings, head elder, second elder, and master. Night Sorrow bowed and greeted them. Why are you here? What a mess. Old Nine, why don't you keep an eye on them? Yu Yang scolded him. Yu Yang and the others were preparing to go to the Golden Flame sect's base in the Medicine Valley. If they didn't leave, they would start a war. It's not a big deal. It's good to see them. Yang Lei, you have to keep an eye on your junior brother. Great Elder said with a smile. At this time, the head elder's face was full of smiles. He didn't look nervous at all. The two great elders of the Medicine Valley had already sent back a message. As long as the Golden Flame sect declared war with the Medicine Valley, the Southern Dipper sect would directly attack. The other two great elders had also contacted the Walkabout sect. The Walkabout sect, which was willing to be on good terms with the Medicine Valley, had also expressed that as long as the Medicine Valley was willing to cooperate with the Walkabout sect, they would attack the Golden Flame sect when they attacked the Medicine Valley. This was the influence of alchemy sects and alchemists. The Southern Dipper sect and the Medicine Valley had a friendship. Apart from friendship, all cultivators needed elixirs. They could refine ordinary elixirs in their sects, but when it came to rare and unusual elixirs, they couldn't do it. Even if they had the materials, they couldn't refine them. However, the Medicine Valley was good at this. This was an objective problem that both the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect faced. The most important point was that from the perspective of the development of their sects, helping the Medicine Valley was beneficial to them. The existence of the Medicine Valley was a nail in the Golden Flame sect's heart. Helping the Medicine Valley and supporting the Medicine Valley was equal to restricting the development of the Golden Flame sect. This situation was beneficial to the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect, whose sphere of influence bordered the Golden Flame sect. After receiving the message, the head elder was sure that the Golden Flame sect wouldn't declare war. The existence of the Medicine Valley was an opportunity for the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect to jointly attack the Golden Flame sect. In terms of strength, the Golden Flame sect was not as good as the Southern Dipper sect. With the addition of the equally powerful Walkabout sect, the Golden Flames sect would be a fool to declare war under such pressure. Under the guidance of Yu Yangyu, they walked towards the Golden Fire Pavilion. The Medicine Valley had already received the news that all the members of Golden Fire sect in Danding City had gathered there. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei walked at the back, and so did the Great Elder. Update X New Most, Fast K, Shana. Chapter 163. Thank you for your concern, Great Elder, but I don't need anything for the time being. Night Sorrow said. He now felt that he owed the Medicine Valley a lot. Although the conflict between the Medicine Valley and the Golden Flames sect would happen sooner or later, it was caused by him cutting off Jampeng's arm. If you need anything, go to your master or find me. The sect will give you whatever help we can. You have given the Medicine Valley hope, and you are also the hope of the Medicine Valley. The Great Elder looked at Yi Shang with eyes full of admiration. The fact was just as the Great Elder said. Night Sorrow found the Holy Cauldron Sutra, which gave the Medicine Valley hope to rise again. Similarly, a young and outstanding disciple like Night Sorrow was also the future of the Medicine Valley. I will work hard. Night Sorrow could feel the care and kindness in the Great Elder's eyes. Later on, I may have to go to the Enshrine Pagoda. If you have any questions, use my token to find me at the Enshrine Pagoda. The Great Elder instructed. Great Elder, you are so biased. You are so good to 13. You didn't take care of me like this back then, Yang Lei said, curling her lips. Don't compare yourself with your little junior brother, the Great Elder said with a smile. Yang Lei nodded. She was just saying. The Great Elder's prestige in the Medicine Valley was extremely high, even higher than that of the Valley Master. Before the Valley Master took office, he was the Great Elder and did things fairly. While chatting, the group arrived at the Golden Flame Pavilion. There were many people gathered at the entrance of the Golden Flame Pavilion. In the middle were hundreds of disciples of the Golden Flame sect, and outside were disciples of the Medicine Valley. They had already formed an encirclement. The leaders were Yan Beibei, Duan Lei, Gong Xian, and Chu Lingxiao. Seeing Yu Yangyu, the Great Elder, and the others, the disciples of the Medicine Valley made way for them. Qi Tiancheng, have you decided? Yu Yangyu walked out of the crowd and asked the leader of the Golden Flame sect, Qi Tiancheng. Yu Yangyu, has the Medicine Valley decided to shed all pretense of cordiality? Have you thought of the consequences? Qi Tiancheng said with a gloomy face. Don't talk to me about the consequences. Today, the Medicine Valley will only give you one choice. Will you retreat or not? Yu Yangyu's answer. Are you trying to bring calamity to the Medicine Valley? Or do you think that the Medicine Valley can contend with the Golden Flame sect? Qi Tiancheng roared angrily. He was really depressed. Yesterday, the Golden Flame sect had sent an order to prevent Qi Tiancheng from clashing with the Medicine Valley. It would be best if they could intimidate Qi Tiancheng, but if not, they would retreat temporarily. The actions of the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect had already put the Golden Flame sect in a passive position. I don't know if they can resist. But let me tell you, as long as you don't retreat, no one from the Golden Flame sect will survive in Danding City. Yu Yangyu glanced at the disciples of the Golden Flame sect and said. Yu Yangyu, the Golden Flame sect will remember what happened today. Let's go. Qi Tiancheng glanced at Yu Yangyu coldly. Ignoring Qi Tiancheng and the others who were walking out, Yu Yangyu gave a strong order, from today onwards, kill anyone with the symbol of the Golden Flame sect who enters the Medicine Valley. Qi Tiancheng, who had walked a few meters away, trembled. He knew that the Medicine Valley had really turned hostile. All the members of the Golden Flame sect left. The tense atmosphere in Danding City eased. No one wanted to start a war if possible. Yangyu, call back all the people you send out. In the future, the people of the 12 Peaks will take turns to be on duty in Danding City. We'll discuss the issue of the City Lord, the First Elder said. Under normal circumstances, Aoyushan could be the City Lord. But now that the situation was unstable, Yushan couldn't control the situation. This operation had nothing to do with him. He couldn't get involved at all. After that, everyone dispersed. Yi Shang and Yang Lei followed the group back to the city lord's mansion. The peak masters of the various peaks also arrived at the main hall of the city lord mansion. Let's put this matter aside for now. But something can happen at any time. Danding City is the most important city. We can't afford to lose it. Ao Yushan will be the deputy city lord. Choose another city lord, the first elder said to the fourth elder, Lu Qinyun. I have no objection to the first elder's arrangement. Lu Qinyun nodded. Although his disciple's power was taken away, he understood that this was the general trend. During the next election, the elders and peak masters all recommended Gong Xian. Gong Xian has entered the 5th level. He's more than qualified to be the city lord. But he has other tasks. He can't be the city lord of Danding City. The first elder rejected directly. During the next election, Yang Lei was naturally put on the table. After all, there were very few people in the Medicine Valley in recent years. It could be said that almost no one had entered the 5th level. Yang Lei's ability was obvious to all. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation Master, I have no problem killing people. But I can't be the city lord's disciple, Yang Lei stood up and said. Ah, that's true. What do you think, first elder? Yu Yangyu looked at the first elder. Capable people do more work. Yang Lei, don't decline this matter. Yushan, you have to cooperate with Yang Lei. If I find out that you have any ulterior motives, don't blame me for being rude. In addition, I'll set up the position of Deputy City Lord. Qing Shan, you'll stay and assist Yang Lei. The first elder made another arrangement. First elder, why don't I stay? Chu Lingxiao said. You have other arrangements. Otherwise, why wouldn't everyone recommend you? Xian Wu said before the first elder could speak. At this time, Su Chenbai was frowning. The second elder hadn't made any arrangements for the people of the Nine Peak. This was the time for the peaks to expand their influence. Hearing Qian Wu's words, Chu Lingxiao nodded. He also wanted to contribute. Since the sect had other arrangements, he had no objections. In addition, the first elder announced that a month later, before the sect's disciple recruitment ceremony, the Medicine Valley would hold a sect meeting. The Grand Supreme Elder and the Valley Lord would attend. This let everyone know that there would be a big change in the Medicine Valley. After the announcement, the first elder asked everyone if there was anything else. Qian Wu suggested that this year's disciple recruitment ceremony should be more grand. They should attract more talents and give more rewards to the disciples who passed. The first elder nodded and agreed. Then, he let Yu Yangyu make the arrangements. Yu Yangyu asked the peaks to send people to inform their subordinate regions. There were still 2 months. Time might be tight, but there was still time. After the meeting, those who should leave left. Ao Yushan also gave up the mansion next to the city lord's mansion. That was the residence of the city lord. Yang Lei also asked him to arrange a place for Bai Qingshan. There were no outsiders in the hall. Only Yang Lei and Night Sorrow were left. Yu Yangyu said, Old Jiu, I know you don't like trifles. But right now, Danding City really needs someone who can control the situation. You know, even among the elders, only a limited number of people have reached the 5th level. During this critical period, even if an elder becomes the city lord, he won't be able to control the situation without strength. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.